There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy. This electricity, the power of the pioneers, tearing through history. This is our destiny.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another night of the ESL Challenger League. I'm Darth Mike, this is JRT, and we will be bringing you through the action tonight for a matchup between Snakes' Den and ATK. John, how are you feeling about tonight's game?
Feeling pretty good, Mike. Looked at the history for Snakes Den this season. It's actually a very different team from the Snakes Den we saw back in season 43. Of course, only one player is returning from that roster, and that's DJF. Everyone else is a new addition, and they've had a couple of new additions this season. In fact, well, we'll get back to that once we talk about the rosters, but I think that this team's actually going to be really interesting, Mike.
Well, let's take a look at the schedule here because you've got this action starting at 8 p.m. and the B stream will be going live in an hour with Strife versus Take Flight, both Group B games, so big implications potentially for playoffs. Speaking of which, let's take a peek at those standings because these are two teams on potentially very different trajectories in this matchup. For ATK,
Yes.
they need to win out to make playoffs. But they started the season playing with Bowden over in Europe, but playing with an unstable roster, having all sorts of issues there, and didn't go great for them to start. But if they win from here on out, they're all good, and that's what they expect for themselves. It's certainly what they expect matchup against Snakes Den. Meanwhile, Snakes Den desperately trying to find some wins here to keep themselves out of that relegation.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Snakeston had an unfortunate circumstance that occurred up against Wildcard. If you look at that series, you might scratch your head and say, what happened? Because one map was won by each team. Ancient taken by Snakeston, and Inferno was taken by Wildcard, and then they were going to map 3. But unfortunately, throughout that series, it was discovered that Wolf did not complete his registration. There was a form yet to submit. It wasn't submitted. I think the whole team had to make sure that was done, and they had to forfeit the map as a result. They fixed it, but it should have been done before the match, and it wasn't. So that's unfortunate for them. And yesterday they played against Strife, and it was a 3-map series. The first 2 maps really close, and Overpass kind of a blowout in favor of Strife. But still, the Snakes Den roster, especially with Wolf added to the roster, which we'll talk about a little bit more, as I mentioned a bit, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be an interesting one as well. Certainly seem to be turning things around, at least a little bit, and a win here would be huge. But
Here we go.
talking about the names that are arrayed against them, it's been changes for both these teams. They both found the wolf inside them. There's 2 wolves in your matchup.
Yes.
One of them is Wolf, and the other one is Wolfie. And that seems to be the case right now. The Swedish-American opera coming back into ATK to join the other 4, giving them an op presence that's actually on this continent.
Yeah, that's going to help them a lot. And Wolfie, it's been a while since he's been in North America. I think the last time was in season 37 of ESL, so 8 seasons ago, and he was pretty solid. I think season 37 he was trying to go back to Sweden at that time and wasn't as focused as he was in previous seasons. But if you look at his performance from season 34 to season 36 on the Russian Canadians, then on Secret Club for a couple of seasons, he was lights out incredible. Just looking at season 36, for example, he had 374 frags, a plus 77 kill to death differential, 80.1 ADR, and 1.26 KDR in 17 maps played. He was really quite effective. I would say a top 5 opper easily in ECL throughout his time here in North America. So now that he's back, I think it's a fantastic addition for ATK. I don't know if he brings as much in terms of utility and flashbangs. That's what Bowden was really helpful with, especially in the latter part when he couldn't really contribute as much with the op. But hopefully Wolf will be able to fill that role as well because, yeah.
I'm sure he's got the capability for it.
Yes,
if you're wondering what he's
yes.
been up to while he was away, well, he was over in Europe competing primarily with
Yes.
Fnatic's academy team, Fnatic Rising,
Which is
also
gone.
playing a bit with Lil Mix, playing a bit with various rosters. But he's always sort of flitted back and forth between Sweden and America, again, being, I believe, a dual citizen. But
Yeah.
now back on NA soil, I do think that this is, they obviously would have loved to continue with Bowden. I think
Oh, yeah.
everybody on the
I
team's of
mean,
that opinion. They love that guy. But just unable to get him into the country means that you got Wolfie here as your new Swedish op replacement.
Yeah, Bowden's an all-around fantastic offer. It's just unfortunate circumstances that led to this situation. But I agree, like Wolfie could not have been a better choice for ATK to replace Bowden. And yeah, you talked about him playing. He played on Ecstatic in Challenger League Europe for season 43. So, and of course, the Fnatic Academy project, which is on pause right now, and that's why Wolfie decided to make the move back to NA, I guess, and play with ATK. So yeah, talked enough about him though, and Jonji is another new addition to ATK. A month ago, he was with Party Astronauts, decided that he wanted to take a break from Counter-Strike, and well, that break is now over. He's been picked up by this ATK squad, and he is just such a potent player to have on your roster. He's not afraid of any fights, takes a lot of opening engagements, just goes right into that fight and does a lot of damage, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I think the talent's always been there when we've seen him in that EG roster, in that
Yep.
former Party Astronauts roster, playing alongside Swisher back in the Bad News Bears days as well. We've always seen the talent, always seen the flash on the server. The question at times has been, motivation, attitude
Yes.
issues within the team, chemistry within the team. He when he left that EG product, he was talking about going collegiate. He was talking about taking a break from CS, potentially retiring, getting a job, exploring education, exploring his options. So it is interesting to see him back as part of this ATK squad, but you gotta love the opportunity that he brings him in terms of the talent and what he can do in the server.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately DJ just wasn't panning out on the ATK roster. I know when he left the team, he had a lot of choice words for the way things had gone throughout with the deal with the organization. But either way, he understood that it was also because of performance that he wasn't on the team.
Yeah.
DJ's a really good player, though. That's the thing. He just didn't fit with this ATK roster for whatever reason. He was solid before then.
It was interesting as well because they did try a few different things with him, right?
Yes, they did.
It definitely was. I don't think any of his issues were with the roster or with his teammates, right? Because they really did try and make it work. But even when he was on what I think of as more traditional AT or DJ roles in terms of the lurking and whatnot, we just did not see him have the same impact that he did over in the Party Astronauts or EG days.
Yeah.
So. Definitely a little surprising, that one. That just never really seemed to click, but certainly did seem to be time for a change for both parties, really.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you looked at the numbers, there really wasn't a place where DJ was finding himself fitting in on this roster. So a change needed to be made in that regard. And well, it was. And John G is a great pickup for sure. I want to talk a little bit about, go ahead,
Go
Mike.
ahead. I was going to say we should probably talk about the veto.
Oh, I was going
You
to talk
ready
about Snake's Den, but let's go with the veto since we're running
Let's
out
go
of
with the
time
veto. We'll have more time to talk about Snake's Den once we get into the server, but we should get this veto out of the way here. Snake's Den will take out Anubis. ATK don't want to play Nuke, so we're going to get Inferno as Snake's Den's pick. ATK take Mirage, and then our decider, should we get to it, is Ancient. How do you feel about the maps, John?
It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I mean, Snake's Den performed really well on Inferno and Ancient. I shouldn't say Inferno, Inferno and Mirage. Those are their two maps where they actually have been most competitive against their opposition. Yesterday against Strife, for example, Inferno, they won that 16-11, then lost on Mirage 13-16. You can also look back on Inferno against Party Astronauts, where that one went 13-16, and then against Wildcard 14-16. Both losses, but still very, very close. So I'm expecting the first two maps to be, tightly contested. Mirage, of course, is ATK's bread and butter at 28 games played, 18 wins, and a plus 48 round differential. When we go to map 3, I think it's going to be a little bit of a toss-up. The thing I would say, though, is that it probably favors ATK because I think their map pool is a little deeper, and Snake's Den, gets a little shallow towards map number 3. It's harder for them to perform once they get past those first two.
Well, I like your faith. I like your confidence. I think ATK is going to slaughter, frankly. I think
Okay.
that ATK has been going through it a little bit in terms of their team, right? Maybe their shine has faded a little bit, but they were dealing with a lack of contracts with their organization, a lack of financial security there, not being able to get all of their players into the country. I think Spray's still coaching, not in the country, so a little bit unfortunate there. But at this point, they've got 5 players on realistic ping. They don't have to be playing, with one hand tied behind their back, with the op tied behind their back, where they just have to assume that he's going to lose any 50-50 fight. You don't have to be adjusting your play to hide the op anymore. Wolfie certainly can be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the ATK that we expect, frankly, and they know what's on the line. They need to win out here to get another crack at the Pro League, an opportunity that's huge for a team like ATK as they try and keep chugging along here and keep it competitive with another chance for international competition. So I would love to see a competitive game out from Snake's Den, but I just don't know if I'm buying it yet, John. And we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll see if they can sell it to me after this.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy. This electricity, the power of the pioneers, tearing through history. This is our destiny. We are the power, we are the change, we are the pioneers of paradise of fame. We push it louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers, we are the pioneers.
for bearing with us there, folks, for that slight delay. But we are ready to get the action going here on Inferno. Now, John, we had a pistol round on deck, and you wanted to talk about Snake's Den. So I think we got a little time in this pistol. Why don't you tell us why you're excited about this team?
Yeah, so I mean, they had a couple of changes. I say a couple because Calix was added to this roster to replace Bird from last season, but he only played 2 maps, I think it was, before Wolf became available because he decided to leave, take flight due to differences in terms of what he thought the system should be. And well, Wolf has always been a solid player. He's got tons of ECL experience under his belt, and I think he adds even more firepower than Calix would bring to the table. And they were close to beating Party Astronauts before Wolf even joined. So yeah, Mistim and Swisher are going to get a couple. Here comes Seb, DJF, and DJF again. 3 frags combined for Snake's Den, and ATK are still fighting away, trying to prevent the bomb from being planted, but it's only John G left.
Really ambitious peek back in from Mistim here. But he wanted to kill ahead of it, but they run him down, setting up Janji in the clutch. P2K user, he's looking for something on the library. Apparently, there was an HE. Ah!
Oh no.
That didn't do it. He knows we're watching.
Yeah.
He knows we're watching. Not quite hitting right there for old Janji. Now he knows both locations, but he won't be able to survive the onslaught of Cyrex. So, indeed, it is a pistol round for Snake's Den.
Yeah, no, and like I was trying to say before all that action got underway, Snake's Den were very competitive with a tough team in the Party Astronauts, and then against Wildcard. Talked about in the pregame how it could have been their map if not for the registration issues that Wolf had in getting signed onto this team. So, yeah, and then the 3-map series yesterday against Stripe, but Overpass was map number 3, and that's why it was really tough for Snakes, and they're not good on that map and don't really play it at all. This time it's Ancient, though, and they've had some close matches there, both against Wildcard and Party Astronauts. So that's why I'm so excited about this Snakes Den roster, Mike, because yes, you know, there are a couple of new faces in Lake and Seb, but everyone else in the squad has experience playing at the ECL level.
Wolf is an interesting player. Always had a lot of potential, but also what you said about him leaving because of a difference in opinion seems to have been his history. He's been on a lot of rosters.
This is true, yes.
Sometimes he gets removed, sometimes he removes himself. But, I mean, if you look at HLTV, he's been on something like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rosters since 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of those are the same team with different names, but either way, he does not tend to stick with rosters very often, which is an interesting one. In towards the site they go. It's the soft site. Mistim collects 1, but his teammates are elsewhere, so he'll have to back away. He's begging one other person to come around the corner and give him an opportunity, but a Molotov is what they'll send. They'll secure the bomb plant. Still decent chance for this retake to happen. There's some flashes to get them back through. No damaging utility, no Molotovs to clear out back sight. So if Snake's Den are disciplined, they may be able to withstand this onslaught. On they go into the breach of smoke to section out new box limit. Some of those angles spot on the pillar player. A double swing this. Attempt to at least realize they're caught in a crossfire. They need their teammates who are CT to come through first, and that's just not going to happen. It's a little disjointed. Rack and Swisher a bit slow to come through it. Can't really blame them for it, but in doing so, the opportunity will be missed.
Yep, and Snake's Den are going to get that second. Wreck and Swisher do manage to save what they've got. For Swisher, that's quite a bit in the Scout and the armor, and Wreck also has the body armor and the Deagle, so that gets carried forward, but other than that, probably not going to get much of an investment from ATK into this round, since that was the force by Snake's Den up 2-0. And, you know, I think Inferno is the map where we can expect Snake's Den to 100% be extremely competitive, since they've shown that already against very solid rosters. After that is when it might get a little tougher. On Mirage, less so, but Ancient, perhaps. I don't know. It's hard to say because it's a small sample size still that we have for Snake's Den, but so far, they really managed to at least stay toe-to-toe with their competition. Mistim's going to get that nade onto Seb. Nicely done. That's a good start.
I love nade stacks in eco rounds. I think nade stacks, I mean, I know a lot of teams run them on Inferno, but I think nade stacks are actually underutilized. Because, yeah, you're probably not winning the round, but, you know, if you kill a guy before they even see you, you might win the round. Wolfie snatches that AK away, somehow living despite his lack of armor. Sam doesn't connect it. That's a little ambitious from Janji, but it wouldn't be a Janji play if we weren't saying that. We'll see what they could do. They've got 2 rifles now salvaged through. That might be worth saving into the future, but Rick's going to see if he can't get something to fight back through, and with that kill, the decision should be made for them.
Yeah, that will be a save coming through from ATK. You see missed him poking around a little bit. Maybe wants to try and do that economic damage. Perhaps realize they are vulnerable, and indeed they are, but DJF takes him down before he can deal the killing blow or even get a shot to connect. In fact, Wolfie has already ran away because, of course, that AK is far too important to take a risk with.
Oh, certainly. So they'll have a buy into the next, but for Snake's Den, they passed the first hurdle, right? They've withstood a couple of risky force buys. I mean, the first 2 kills in this round went against Snake's Den, and they managed to recover. So it's encouraging, for sure, early on. But now the big test comes out. The big green's out for Wolfie, and I'm very curious to see what kind of impact he's going to be able to have early here for ATK.
Yeah, and we also can't forget that it is quite a big change, right? To ATK, 2 new players coming to the roster all at once, and Wolfie and Jonji. So there's going to be an adjustment period as they learn their roles, and of course their teammates learn to play around them, because there's a lot of differences. Just swapping out even one player too is even crazier. So we'll see how that pans out. And they've only played, I think, a Cash Cup together. Cash Cup Season 1, Cash Cup 6, I think it was. So that's all they've got so far.
Still a little bit of time in the server. Get used to it. Definitely is going to be a shift up. In particular, I think the opping may not be as radical a shift, although having, you know, an op with decent ping is definitely going to be a boon. Yeah. But I think if you talk about 2 players and their play styles, DJ and Jonji,
it's very different.
Slightly different things to the table and slightly different approaches to a lot of situations, John.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I mean, Jonji's a far more aggressive player, and DJ's more of that stay-at-home defender, especially on that CT side. So yeah, it's interesting to see how he employs, or how they employ Jonji overall. Swisher gets one, traded out by Lake. Rek is going to have to go for cover, and Rek has been a solid player for ATK, the top frag in the squad so far this season, and he racks up another one onto Cyrix right after Mistim takes down Seb. DJF and Lake, the last 2 standing, and looks like ATK may finally crack the scoreboard.
And here's the problem, is that they had no pressure towards Banana, no pressure towards B, so ATK were very quick to float the 4th player over here. Still, that's a good headshot from Lake. Find more. Oh, here we go. All right, it's on, but Wolfie, it's time to shine perhaps. I made this a bit riskier than expected, but he will find the final shot he needs, even in time to keep his teammate limping along into the next round. So ATK, they're on the board, but it's far from clean.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're looking at the stats so far for Snake's Den, obviously Wolf has had his impact. He's already averaging 19.6 frags per map, which is 3rd on the team, only behind Lake at 19.8. So he is very strong, even if it's only been in 5 maps. But overall, over the 7 maps the team has played, Lake right behind Cyrix, neck and neck, right? Cyrix at 140 frags, Lake right behind him at 139, and he's actually the ADR leader on the squad at 82.4. So he's certainly a player to watch.
Banana, it's going to be checked. Let me push back as well. They're playing double sandbag. This is risky now, but still going to get a 1-for-1. Not terrible off of the MP9, and especially considering how up against it they looked on the utility. That's a huge kill for Lake. Very aggressive here from ATK. Rex got one back, but the health is not encouraging here. This is going to be a very touch and go round for both sides. Wolf spotted just as the smoke blooms. That smoke just saved Rex's life. Pressure's on for Mistim.
Yeah.
What can the captain do here back at B site? Well, you can call for Wolfie to come in and try and support him. And if this smoke fades, there is one more. There's one more available. Wolf can bring that to bear, and he's going to do exactly that. But Mistim's playing ahead of it. He's got a kill. Got some damage. Cyrix looking for this frag. Reloading at an unfortunate time. And now, oh, Wolfie's vision clears, and Mistim's there for the final trade. Again, it's a touch and go round, John, but this time they come out on top.
So,
again for ATK.
So very close. I mean, that was insane. One frag the other way. If Cyrix able to clear out, I think it was Mistim at 4 HP, then perhaps they would have come with a round, but it didn't happen. ATK managed to get their 2nd, and Snake's Den just could not get that bomb planted either, so their money is a little bit rough, and as a result, they're just going to upgrade some pistols. Wolf and Lake do get some body armor on their person, but that is pretty much the extent of their buyout. Cyrix poking around here with the P250. A Molotov lands right on his flank, so he has to be careful not to dip his toes into it. And he does, and look at Seb go up here. He gets one with the Glock, of all things. Missed him, trades him out, but there's a gun available that Snakesden may be tempted to try and go pick up. Oh, look where they are, Mike. They're already pushed up towards the A site with the Tech 9s.
Yeah, Rek could get caught here. There's a lot of space to afford him. Does he have support? No. The bodies may be a bit lacking to have that much space given over. What's Missed him doing here? Getting caught. Fumbling. Knife out. He's caught by DJF. This is a catastrophe. The bomb's going to go down. That can't be stopped. The nade's even late to do damage. This, I mean, it's a save. Frankly.
I don't think so.
It's a catastrophe to give it over, but your money's going to be in shambles after this one.
I thought they might trying to go for it, right, with Swisher over in bracket, but
It's taking
instead...
too long for Wolfie to get over here, I think. Unless he finds a freebie, and he's not being given one. This is going to suck for ATK, but they have to make the smart decision here and back away. And Wolfie even sticking around for a little bit more. Risky maneuver here. That's a huge round for Snakesden to somehow find through. ATK playing like they don't have a care in the world, right? I mean, some of these swings, some of these peaks, some of this aggression, knife out, down banana when you know a player was there previously. It's careless.
Yeah, that was strange. Missed him, just gets completely caught out against the pistols, and they knew Snakesden were on pistols because they got killed with a Glock at the beginning of the round. So really, in those type of situations, you can't be careless, because if you get too close to them, if you take the wrong turn, then you got a pistol in your face, and it's very difficult to deal with under certain circumstances, especially, well, when you got your knife out going down. Banana. So anyway, Snakesden get a fourth that honestly was surprising, given that there was such a light investment for them. They get some free upgrades as well, and that's a really good job from them, at the very least, getting that space up towards the A site so quickly, but Rek not having support either. It was a very strange setup for ATK.
Just allowed them right in, invited them around the corner, and Rek clearly had no idea, right?
No.
That a player could be up that close. And a little bit of a strange one. They have a chance for recovery here. Chance is going to get a little bigger. Wolf with a quick recovery, but the AWP is still into play, and this could get spicy. Wolfie will make sure of it. It'll be a heck of a way to get back on track. The bomb is recovered. Back away, but it's just going to be Wolf. And now the bomb is well within the control of Swisher. What do you do? Swisher will bring the fight right to him, and that is going to be the antidote to the toxin of the last for ATK.
Wow, what a collapse from ATK onto that A site when Snakesden were trying to push in. They just suffocated them. No air to breathe as they tried to come around those corners and got taken down just like that. ATK find a third, and I mean, you saw Snakesden, they're trying to pincer from both Arch and into lane, but the problem is they weren't winning any of their fights, and Wolf, by the time he gets engaged there, all his teammates are dead, and he can't do anything but pretty much die himself. So ATK, nice recovery, especially considering the way that previous round went. And now we're back to the pistol for Snakesden with a hero AK, and Wolfie's the first casualty. This has been so scrappy.
Oh, it's wild. The AWP trying to go for an aggro peak, just completely dismantled. And despite seeing all those bodies here, Jonji, I guess, is going back to find utility, but this is very helter-skelter. Nice nade. Look at that nade. Oh, my goodness. Right into the meat of them.
Cyrus got the op, though, so maybe they can do something towards
danger. There's still another Molotov here. Bistum's exhausted his util, but the extra util for Jonji gives him something to work with. Smoke up, along with Wolf's probes on the other side of the map, may coax them into action elsewhere.
Yeah, I would be surprised they didn't rotate back. Oh no, Jonji's gonna get caught here!
Yeah, he's got the Molotov too. He's got it deployed. This is actual lunatic play at this point. That is madness up against pistols. Now his gun's been given over, and they're looking to go in towards B. You know, maybe I got unused to watching Jonji games, but that one feels even bold for him.
Yeah. I was surprised seeing him pushing up there. Wolf gets connected on down to 29 HP, and DJF continues trying to fight on this B side. He goes down, but Cyrix finds Swisher, and now it's up to Rek in pit. He gets one, the second as well, and the third. Rek standing on his head, taking care of business as a fourth round is picked up for ATK.
And good that they do. because, again, just some serious unforced errors coming through from ATK. Not what we expect, really, from this squad. Oof. All right. Well, that's a very effective eco round. I will say that for Snake's Den. I mean, they almost won it, right? But they're bringing it down to 2 players. ATK have just not done themselves any favors with building up this bank here.
It's been really strange.
Speaking of aggression, hello, Swisher. It works out. Just a Molotov for cover, but he goes in, gets the ultimate peek, and now he can back away. Jonji wants to fight. Doesn't need to stick around. They got a man advantage in an anti-eco. You do not need to get aggressive here.
Yeah, it's strange, though, to see ATK getting aggressive, right? Because they're usually such a disciplined team, as Wolfie's going to take down DJF. But, of course, as I mentioned, when you have a couple of new players coming in, sometimes a wrench gets thrown into the plans that you usually try to employ.
Yeah, it's a little looser than we're expecting it to see them. Speaking of looser, they're playing 4-man on A. This feels like a pretty aggressive read, again, considering it is anti-eco. Wolfie's going to try and come back into support. There is a smoke for the cross that they can deploy. Lake's going to get that out late, but it will bloom before they cross, so it's all on the Jonji. They can't think that this site is empty, right? They have to know somebody's here, and Jonji has to know that as well, but Lake, pick a new box, picks wrong, and so not a body will drop, and finally we get a clean round out for ATK.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like this is such a crazy start to this map that it could have gone the way of Snake's Den just as easily as ATK, right, in terms of who retakes this lead, and it's ATK who are up 5-4, but I don't think the antics are over just yet. As you mentioned, at least for ATK, they're getting a clean round. They get that foundation under them in terms of economy, and now they're able to afford 3 M4s, the op, and of course the AK saved over. And Lake going aggressive here, and he gets one, but immediately traded out by Rex. So good for ATK to make sure that they had a player ready to trade on the A site. The thing is, A is again exceptionally vulnerable, and they realized that quickly this time and missed him, is hightailing it over to try and reinforce his teammate.
It does feel like ATK are very quick to get lit around by their nose right now.
Yeah.
Right, playing heavy number stacks towards either side, playing a bit of a best guessing game. It's almost a little bit of the, dare I say, like the heroic playbook of trying to make sure that your numbers are in the right place at the right time, but taking some risks in doing so. And, well, it's an interesting one to see. Jonji on the smoke fade. This is going to be a little bit aggressive. He's trying to play off the op contact. He's got it as well, but through the panel of wood, he goes down still. Advantage found for ATK, and it's all on the back of Wolf now, who's got his counterpart. The other K9 coming right into the fight. He'll win out that duel, so we know who the alpha is in this moment, and he might be the man of the round. The bomb is down. Wolf, a chance at this clutch. Rek, a little late to rotate, coming up Banana. And they know where Rek plays from, so Wolf is coming right back in the fight. He expects it, but he's still not Johnny on the spot. Eyes aren't on the angle. And so Rek, once again, is the backstop for ATK.
Wow, nicely done for Rek. Yeah, the fact that he's able to win that duel, but even nicer for Wolf, right? He gets that 2K, opens up all the space onto the B site, gets the bomb plant, $800 injected into the bank accounts for Snake's Den, and at least, you know, you lose the round, but you're able to likely buy up here. It should be AKs and Galils mixed in with the utility that they need. So good job for him to at least make this round a lot more viable for Snake's Den. And on the ATK side, like we said already, Rek is just very, very clutch. I talked about him leading the team, more specifics there. He's got 196 frags so far in 8 maps, a plus 44 kill to that differential, and an 87.6 ADR. He leads the team in pretty much every single stat category. He has been that good, and usually it's Swisher at the top, and he's still been good, but Rek's been the one that's starred for them so far in Season 45.
Seems like as well he may be bringing something to the roster that they're going to need, which is willingness to sit.
Yeah, yes, that patience, right?
Early days, but I mean, again, in that last round, right, Wolfie peeking back into clear Banana is just so unnecessary. You don't need to take that, and that's what gives the opportunity for Wolf to potentially clutch up. So
yeah, No, that's a really good point. Like, I think Wolfie's a little more eager, perhaps, to try and go for those peaks and doesn't have the patience of a Bowden, for example, who will always just wait and hold that angle. Swisher's going to get that frag onto Wolf here, and it gives it a 4v3 for ATK.
I will say also charitably, while you're still working new players into the system, everything might be a lot looser. You might just be giving more individual freedom for players to go for what they're feeling, to try and, make a play. You'd assume that a lot of this will settle as they get more comfortable as a unit. Here comes the playthrough. Snake's dead, have been afforded the site. Man, disadvantage. The flower pot's boost will eventually find a kill. That drops the bomb, but Janji sticking around in the smoke, looking like he wanted to go through. They read that. Still gonna leave Seb in the clutch. They'll force the bomb plant. Get that money secured for his team. He's spotted. A little bit risky there. Wolfie's got him back in the corner, and he knows it. Seb knew he had to get the kill, at least while Wolfie was isolated before his teammate got there. He's just not doing.
Man, these rounds are so close. Snakes Den are in every single one, but ATK have finally found a little bit more of an edge as they get a 7th there. Wolfie has been integral finding those impact frags with the AWP, and you see the value that he brings with the big green to this ATK roster. Interesting, by the way, Mike, you mentioned that Wolfie was a Swede replacing a Swede, and it's actually Janji, a Canuck replacing a Canuck. Both Canadians coming back, so I guess they're trying to keep the same flags, right?
Same ratio. Same ratio. Sweden, Canadian coming through. Yeah, it's very important for team chemistry.
Yes.
Gotta have your South African. But they found the balance that worked for them. They're trying to keep it that way.
Yes.
It is cool as well to see Rek actually as a signed member of this team.
Yes. Well, I mean, we were waiting for him to be signed
because
of how well he was playing. It didn't make sense.
We were wondering why he was a stand-in. It turned out they were all stand-ins.
Yes.
Because no one had contracts at the time. So it wasn't a Rek problem. It was a team problem. But that has been sorted out.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, indeed. A little extra motivation as that news started to become public with players exiting the scene. Janji, big kill, sticks around a bit too long, overstays his welcome, and so that kill gets traded back. A bit of a theme, but Lake trying to make a move towards A, gets his bell rung, and so a man advantage remains for ATK, and certainly decent positional control as well. Fight, and Wolf will have it. He's been snappy on punishing these aggressive forays. Pressure onto Swisher now. Slips in towards the site, calling for his teammates to come over. He's the full 25 seconds. They're not expecting anything else. That drops the bomb early. And Swisher, he's doing a great job here. The flashbang is lethal, and Wolfie's able to find the last. So these rounds, they may have been close. They may have been scrappy, but the result is the same, John. This is now the 4th in a row for ATK, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it might even be 5. I think Snakes Den had that lead at, was it 4-2 at one point? Was it 6 in a row? Either way, ATK are on a ridiculous run right now and really are doing a great job coming on the clutch. Swisher that time gets the 2K. I thought he was going to go down after the first with how much HP he had left, but he somehow manages to dip and dodge those bullets and then get that frag onto the second. And Wolfie supporting really well. I like the potential of this roster now for ATK with Wolfie, Janji, Swisher, Rek, and even miss them. All 5 of them have the potential to be firepower monsters. So it could go very well. And like you mentioned, they have that looser play right now to try and feel out how this squad is going to play and what kind of system they're going to employ. Finds that opener, but it is just a pistol round here for Snakes Den.
Big kill on the Rek. They've got the site. They've got the site. They've got the bomb plant. Big kill on the Wolf. Keep him out of that pit position, but 2 more players will funnel in, trying to find that salvage rifle. Wolfie!
Okay, Wolfie.
Okay, playing Battleship here, just shooting through the wall. Why not thin as numbers? Finally, he is laid low, and Lake gets one more. So here we go. A bit of dynamic play here to get them back into the round. This is not done just yet. Smokes to section out Lake. The kill comes through. It's all onto DJF. DJF will be taken out just in the nick of time. Missed him with a big couple of frags there in the clutch.
We
keep this rolling.
We don't get many clean rounds. I thought that one might be
Nope.
it, but absolutely not.
No,
We've
certainly
had
not.
one round that's been clean. Everything else has been just ridiculous. And right there, a clutch from Mistim required against the Tech Nines. And once more, it was light on the A site for ATK. And once Snakes Den find one, they're able to charge in and get that bomb plant and make things interesting. But again, the problem for Snakes Den right now is, yes, you're making it interesting, but you have to convert the rounds eventually.
And this is the promise of ATK, right? We're seeing a
Yes,
lot of these
yes.
new roster jitters, stumbles. Ooh, you can shoot through that wall. You can shoot through that wall. We saw it. We saw it happen. Oh, he's away. Alistair demonstrated that very nicely at ESL Challenger Melbourne, actually. Headshot junior development. So 1-for-1, but sets up Swisher for the second. Janji effect in full swing here, but DJF has at least gained ground for the moment. Molotov will force him forward. Very fortunate there's no more damaging utility. ATK shot their shot. He's gonna go looking for the fight. Oh my goodness, he's got it. They know Mistim's here. Play the patient game, but as they back away, Mistim has his info. It's not causing any panic rotates, but it was just a moment.
I mean, if you're Snakes, then you got 2 frags already.
For the peak?
Oh no!
Woohoo! It works out, but that's again a situation that's very ambitious. Wanted the information, spots the one, gets the kill, and now slips away. So it works out for Mistim, but it was high risk.
Yeah, very high risk. And Snakes were waiting for that. They were hoping that a push would come through, but Mistim just wins the duel, even though he's at a bit of a disadvantage going for that. And now Snakes are down to only 2 players and 27 seconds left on the clock. A flashbang thrown. Wolfie, he wants to peek around here and see if anyone's towards mid, because if they're not, rotation's coming through. No one's there, so Rek can go and support Mistim, who's a little isolated right now. Does he have Molotov? No. So he can't slow down Snakes once they try to come in, but there's only 10 seconds left for this bomb to be planted. 9 now. Wolf trying to get around his teammates gone. The bomb's on the ground. Wolf gets the headshot, but time's going to run out, and his body hits the dirt anyway. Rek finding that last frag, and ATK hits double digits.
And that is 8 in a row as well. You're absolutely right, John. It was 4-2 at one point in time. So, yeah, a lot of these rounds have been risky, but at the end of the day, you can't argue with the results. This is domination, considering they dropped 3 rounds to the pistol. There has only been 1 round since for Snakes Den, right? Once the guns came out, this has been all ATK.
I mean, I wouldn't say all ATK,
It
maybe in
has-
terms of rounds,
the end
but
result has been all
Yes,
ATK.
There we go.
Clarifier. That's a nice mortar nade right over the apartments, lobbed in towards the players trying to get into the bedroom.
Oh, this
Rek
peek from
wants to
Rek.
peek. Timing's going to be everything here. He's got the one, spots the player. Need to get that gun out. That wasn't the time for a smoke. They were way too close at hand. And as such, even situations and a path for Wolf. If he dares to challenge this, third player's trying to come back into support. Wolfie's slipping into the pit. Now he's under pressure. Gets the first off that AWP coming through, and he knows it. He needs help. And he's getting it just in the nick of time. Now everybody's here. They can focus in. They can bail him out of this situation, and they can clean up the remaining frags to send us to the halftime break. Live again here with ATK up 11-4. Now the scoreline belies how competitive some of those rounds were, but at the end of the day, Snakes Den still have a mountain to climb ahead of them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Snakes Den, but they did perform pretty admirably against ATK. I think the scoreline is not indicative of how close it was at times in that first half. Just ATK were able to edge them out one after the other, and they're still on a round win streak. Swisher gets the opener onto Lake.
That should be a bomb plant.
Yeah, it should be, and Mistim's going to be in a fight with Wolf more than likely quite shortly because he's been peeking around here, and Wolf actually wins the day against Swisher, but Mistim's right there for the instant trade. It's going back and forth, though, here.
Does Wolfie not know he has the bomb? What is happening here? Time to get this planted now.
He's getting it now.
He will, but he went to clear out all of the apartments first. A little bit maybe of a miscommunication there. But either way, it's all going to be fine. The kills come in, a cacophony of them. Headshots all the way, and ATK win. I think we're seeing a lot of the stumbles, if you will, of clearly this being a team where everything's not drilled down, right? Maybe Wolfie doesn't even realize he has the bomb. Maybe he's not supposed to have the bomb in the situation, but someone missed through it. But I would imagine that his role in that situation is not to be the planter based on the way he acted. So it's just a lot of the little things where ATK aren't being punished for it so far in this game. And it'll be teaching tape to learn from, right? Where they can review it and go, okay, we got away with this, but here's what we should have done. You know, here's where we'll get punished against tougher competition.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're winning despite that, which is fantastic, honestly, because if they clean it up, imagine how good they'll be. But I do agree, against tougher competition, they'll likely get punished a lot more harshly for those types of mistakes. Now they're going to walk into a stack, and this one could get interesting. I mean, they're just USBs, but you never know. With all five pointing in the direction of the ATK squad, Jonji comes out here. He's got the MP5, and he doesn't get the frag, actually. That's going to be wrecked. Jonji does get the follow-up, and yeah, it's all ATK. No problem at all. Last player standing is Cyrix.
He's trying to knife him.
Oh, Jonji. Oh, Jonji.
He's waiting for him to come through the smoke to try and knife him. Oh, boy.
Jonji's fun. He's
Jonji's
fun to watch.
Jonji. He's always going to be trying to pull off the dynamic play. And I mean, at this point, right, how can you blame them? They're slaughtering them. It was a 5v1. You know, you're up 13-4. Have a little fun with it.
Yeah.
Cyrix got the glass cannon op out here early. Was very quiet in that first half. Bottom of the board right now would be a heck of a time to come alive.
Yeah. He's a former ATK player, Mike. Remember, he played with them very briefly a few seasons ago.
Yeah, he did. He was one of those that was a hot advanced prospect. A lot of people were big upping him as a potential next, you know, NA offer. We never really saw it. But there's certainly a chance. They've spotted him. Wolf gonna keep him clean from the graveyard. Big play. Swisher and Jonji recognized the opportunity to punish the Opera, and it was too sweet a possibility. But met the crit wall of the rifles here in support. Kill on Lake does open up possibilities. Still plenty of time. Minute 15. They don't have to go quick on this. They can slow it down and miss him. Perhaps not getting that memo. But damage alone is an interesting prospect here, right? It is a bit of the bonus round. If Rek can find one more kill, even if he can't convert it, it's pretty dang good.
I love the way Rek's using this time, right? He throws a bit of utility towards the B site, doubles back to A, and there's only one player here. So he's actually set himself up for 3 1v1s, potentially. If he peeks towards mid, which is kind of expected, though, from Wolf, could do some damage. We'll see.
Got the kill. He's passed. Barely took any damage. He doesn't expect the player to be in the apartments, but it's a leg. It's a leg. It's not a kill. The Molotov's going to force him back. This bomb's going to go down. This bomb's going down. This is a massive find for Rek if he gets the kill. I mean, just buy some lottery tickets, man. He got it! He got it! Off the nade! Wolf caught that AG right as Rek himself was laid low. And that is one heck of a find off of the round. Yes, it is going to be a win for Snakes Den, but if you look at this in terms of the long game, if you look at this with an 8-round lead like ATK has, that economic damage plus the bomb plant is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. They were playing catch with 2 hot potatoes there, and both of them hit it perfectly. So, yeah, traded nade frags in the end. Indeed, I agree. It's a lot of damage done to Snakes Den in that situation. I'm surprised Rek wasn't able to get past and plant that bomb. Although, to be honest, I also expected him to try and take the fight and perhaps even win it on the player that was an underpass. Anyway, Snakes Den do get a 5th, but their economy is anything but secure. secure. Jonji waiting in the smoke, trying to be cheeky here towards the top of Banana. Oh my goodness, they're right next to him. Do they even have any idea that he's up this close? DJF needs to be so very careful. He's got Util out. Now he's chambering the round, and he's blinded by Mistim and Jonji. He hits it perfectly. That is exactly how ATK drew it up. Now they've got the players scurrying on the B site, and Snake's gonna have to decide, rotate, do we stay on A? They're choosing to rotate. That is not the correct call, with ATK doubling back towards the A site. Oh, nice peek from Cyrix at the very least, take down Swisher, and he gets a second before going down.
There we go. There's the impact we needed out of that AWP, but it's still the pit player completely isolated. And actually, Wolf's come out of the pit. Is he up on the balcony? He must be. No, mini pit. Okay. Mini map, a little confusing there, but he will still get his head ripped from his shoulders. Looked like an advantageous fight, but missed him. Just quick on the shooting, and one more. Why not? Bomb's going to go down. This is a 1v2 now for Seb, and realistically, I won't put too much weight on his shoulders, but this could be for the map.
I do agree. Given the economy right now for Snake's Den, Seb,
he's gonna back away.
Just say you have to. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, for the long game, you would say you have to, but the reality is there's only going to be 2 more rounds of buffer. So I don't know if the long game's still a consideration here, right? You're not going to have a lot of money coming into this round on everybody not named Seb.
I guess so.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, keeping the op in play gives you a much, much better chance in the follow-up round, especially considering Cyrix contributed 2 frags here, starting to maybe heat up at the right time. But yeah, 14 rounds for ATK. There's a very small window here for Snakes then to get back into this match, and it'll have to, of course, start right here. And the money, you talked about it, not too great, but I guess, like, do you play for overtime at this point? You've got the op, you've got to force around it, right? I don't know.
You could have with pistols. Just try and set up the op.
Yeah, I guess the pistol upgrades could work here. Okay, let's see.
That's what they're gonna do. It's kind of a. That's why I kind of would have rather he went for the 1v2.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well.
The money's just so putrid here, right? It's just kind of playing. It is theoretically the correct decision in a vacuum, but we're not in a vacuum right now. We're in the server. And the reality on the ground states that this is not ideal. It gets a little more ideal when Jonji makes very bold plays like that and gets caught off. Seb's unable to retrieve the rifle, though. That's unfortunate for him. It didn't fall on him. So the AK is not gained still. That kill opens up a little bit more intrigue into this one.
Absolutely. Rex going to be going into the apartments. We'll soon have a peek towards the site and a shot fired there from the Snake's Den side. That was the deagle of DJF as the smoke bloomed. I think he might have spotted the shoulder there of the ATK player in Swisher.
Going back in, playing anti-flash, but they've got no flash, right? This is just a straight-up fight. Seb finding damage. He's got the kill as well. How is he winning this? Wolfie's just trying to get it with the pistol, but this is a catastrophe. Now his second op has been picked up, and suddenly this becomes about limiting economic gain. I mean, this is an abject disaster, and Seb, why not just give him the ace? Let's see if Rek will serve himself up on a silver platter. He's got the ace site, but no bomb with which to plant it. Seb has just taken reality and substituted in his own. Give him the ace. Come on, Cyrix. Just back away. Give him the chance. Give him the ace. Give him the shot. Wreck again. It becomes about economic damage, but this time Cyrix will find the final bullet. And this, I mean, this is a shining beacon of hope for Snake's Den to actually get back into the game.
All right, well, the op saved was the good decision then, Mike. You know, it didn't end up being the op that did the damage, though. It was the 5-7 from Seb. Unbelievable shots to hit that. And, I mean, at the same time, what happened on the other end? Because, I mean, he was just dancing around there, dodging every single bullet, and no one seemed to be able to track him down. Mistim was there for so long, full HP and an AK against the 5-7, and it's not like Seb was hitting all of the shots while Mistim was there on car. So, I don't know, very weird one from ATK, reminiscent of a round that happened in the first half, and it didn't phase ATK much at all. We'll see if it phases them here as they're charging forward, trying to get into this B site. They've already got so much space at top Banana that they might say, okay, let's sit back here, see if we can pull some rotations, and then punch it to the A site. Got the util for a full-on execute here. I think they're just going to go.
Does seem to be that way. Straightforward play. Molotov in, finding some damage. Can they get the kills? One there. Some space on health. Johnji on 1 HP, but Swisher with 7. He still gets the headshot. There we go.
The bomb.
There's the site gain. Oh, the bomb's in church. Johnji, you got the bomb. Get out of here, lad.
I don't think he knows.
Someone has to have calmed this now.
Okay,
Yeah,
there
he
we go.
realizes. Okay, another situation where the bomb ends up on the player. It definitely should not have.
Johnji should never have the bomb.
Realistically, that is probably a good idea.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that mistake isn't punished, but let's see if Snake's Den can still recover here. They're going to make a move on this. They're going to commit in. The opportunity is just too right. They know some of the damage that has been done, but no, they're backing away. They didn't get the fight they were hoping for. There's a kill, but economic damage is just not good enough here.
Do they have time?
Yes, but no longer. Not a chance there, and Johnji will not afford them the possibility. 1 HP for those last 2 kills. 1 HP.
I mean, the mayhem goes back and forth here, it seems. The previous round before that one, just ATK couldn't hit their shots. Now the Snakes Den, same thing. Unbelievable stuff. Johnji just able to survive with that 1 HP, gets the last 2 frags, and Snakes Den, despite a valiant effort to come back in that round, it just was the beginning of it that was the biggest problem up against the Tech 9 push that ATK employed. And here we go, 15-6. There is enough money for Snakes Den to get a pretty decent buy up here. Utility is extremely limited, and they're just full sending it out towards mid. I guess it could work. They get 1 from Wolf. Wolf does a little bit more damage to Swisher, but now ATK, seeing all that presence towards the A site, are doubling back into Banana, thinking there can't be that many people here with how much we just saw.
Absolutely right. It's all just about Cyrix. He's under siege once more. Wolf trying to come in to support him, but he's missed the first opportunity. Nails the second, though, on the shot. Johnji's got the space, the site. It is lost. And for the moment, it means Johnji's resisted the temptation to go through. Spam there. Wolfie finds the first. Following the tracers. But what can DGF do? He's found a Galil. What can he find? Nothing. He can find death. And this might be it now. Time is running short. Wolfie 1 kill, but it's all on the Cyrix now, and he's backing away. Can't be doing that.
Cyrix?
That's the game. That's the game, son. Can't be saving here. And that's going to be ATK taking map number 1 in a pretty decisive fashion there, John.
Yeah, I guess I can't really blame him for backing away because of how close all those rounds were. He's probably like, we can't only have 6 rounds here. We've got to have more than that. It can't be the last round we have as a chance to get into this map. But that was it. And well, oh boy. I don't know if the scoreboard tells the whole story there, Mike. As we saw, it was so insane. Round after round, ecos going both ways. And in the end, ATK just have that slight edge to get over the line. I think it's just perhaps a bit of a skill difference here in terms of experience and, of course, firepower that ATK has here, Mike.
I think what you can see, it's an encouraging storyline for ATK,
Yes.
right? This is their opponent's map pick, so maybe they haven't put as much time into Inferno with this 5. They haven't put a lot of time into anything, you'd imagine, with this 5, since it is a very new addition to the project, right? But despite a lot of mistakes, and some are minor and some are major, there were some really glaring errors, some overpeaks, some overfaces, some pushes through smoke that just weren't necessary in man advantage situations. Despite all of those, despite all of the mistakes that are obvious to us right now, they're still dominating. And so that's very encouraging because you've got players who, maybe need to get things buttoned up, maybe need to get used to playing with each other once more, maybe haven't played together in a very long time. But once those things get sorted out, you'd imagine their level's only going to rise.
Yeah, I mean, no question at all. And I think we started to see perhaps maybe a little bit of a shift in the style for ATK, leaning a little more into the aggression, too much, of course, here in this one, but they can still use a bit of that spice from Johnji in particular, as long as it is tamed and not too out of hand.
Did you get too much spice there, John? Was it
A
too
little,
spicy for you? You want a
little bit too
little bit
spicy, just
blander?
a touch. I like spice, but not that much.
Yeah, you want hot, but you don't want kill me hot.
Yes.
On the order menu. Now we are talking about this like this series is actually over. It's not. There's still another chance for Snake's Den. We are going to be heading to ATK's map pick of Mirage though after this break, and so I mean, in terms of maps that are going to go well when you're getting loose, getting aggressive, Mirage is certainly going to play towards what ATK is bringing to the table right now. We'll see if they can close it out after this break.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Back into the action here on Mirage. Snakes Den ATK. And, well, we had a bit of a stomping on Inferno, though the individual rounds maybe wouldn't indicate that. Still, into the action we go, and don't worry, the bomb's not below window. It's safe back in spawn in the hands of Mistum right now. But we got a double push up mid, which is a little bit interesting if they actually commit to it, because there was no one watching top mid. Instead, it's going to be this underpass push that they have to tango with.
This is, yeah. Wolfie's going to get the opener on Cyrus. Going to say it's going to be really tough for Snakes Den to deal with. And wow, ATK are bringing the hurt on now. Seb gets tagged down to 70 HP. Wolf at 100, but he's not really in striking distance of anyone here on ATK. He needs to support Seb and fast, or else Seb's going to get overloaded. But oh my goodness, two beautiful shots. The flick as well from Seb. And now all of a sudden, it's only a man advantage.
He didn't even expect to get that one, I don't think, for Seb.
Didn't.
They're still pretty locked out of this, right? Mistum's in a decent position to control Seb. Oh, no. Utility out is going to end any hope they had of taking this round. They know where Wolf is as well, so he is not long for this world. One way or another, he's going to go down. So it is a pistol round on for ATK. That bodes well for the boys in red.
Yeah, I mean, look, like we said, I don't think Seb even expected to get that 2K. That was a couple of nice shots there. The thing is, they were still very, very far out of that site, and I don't know why Seb is walking out there with Utila. There's absolutely no reason to have it. You need to hit your shots, and, well, gets caught off. 1-0 for ATK. Still a pretty convincing pistol round for them, despite what happened towards the latter part of that post-plant situation. And now a smoke going to get tossed immediately for jungle. Flash for CT. They're trying to bait Snakes into rotating heavily towards the A site and then push the bomb into B. And wow, it is working perfectly.
It is indeed. I mean, they're going to have the site free and clear for the taking. If they do eventually go, but finding all this ground on A, it almost feels like ATK is calling off.
Yeah, it looks like they want to rotate back.
Finding the resistance now, they're just also dismantling it. So maybe not the way they expected this round to go, but they'll take it.
Yeah.
Kill everybody. Why not? Ooh, nice shot for Swish. At least one kill going back the other way for Snakes Den. And it's on an SMG, so a bit of money made, but only a bit. As quickly, DJF will be found. So ATK send 2 players out to probe a site, and they just win the round for them.
Yeah, Swisher pulling out the deagle for some style points there with a nice little headshot. And it was definitely a setup where ATK intended to drag attention towards the A side with a couple players there. The other 3 were going to punch out towards apartments and into B as soon as they found contact in the first frag. But then they did so well on A, they said, why should we even risk it towards the B site? We've got all this space gained. And yeah, they win the round easily. Nothing really much for Snakes. Then again here, just the pistol. Mistum gets himself another couple, perhaps even a third. There it is. And ATK are going to cruise to victory once more unless DJF and Wolf are able to make something crazy happen.
There's something crazy. Finds a kill at least, but certainly still should be no opportunity to get into this round. As the bomb goes down on an MTP site, and now they're already out into the hunt. They're already out ready for the fight to see if they can take this gun away from Wolf. And indeed, well, they can. Swisher was waiting for him right around the corner. No problems there. So for ATK, this could not have started better. You have 2 players who haven't died yet. 2 have only died once in these 3 rounds. And it's been fairly one-sided off the rip. But the guns are out now. It is a glass cannon for Cyrix, John. But if Snakes Den are going to inspire faith in us and the audience at home, I think they need to get started now.
Yeah, no question. And Cyrix is going to be a key piece to that. He has been their best player so far this season with Lake as well. And on the first map, that wasn't the case. He was very much on the sidelines for the most part, unable to contribute towards their attempt at anything on Inferno, right? Only 6 rounds that they picked up. Swisher, along with Jonji, are going to try and push out here towards the A side. 4 players lined up for it. 1 player towards mid, and Jonji somehow wins that fight. Swisher takes down Lake in a 5v3 just like that. Nice nade toss from Cyrix to make it only a man advantage, but that's a bomb plant.
Yeah, unless Cyrix finds something here. Okay, with that kill from DJF, that's them propelled back into the retake. I was going to say there's a world where a save just comes through. I think if Cyrix didn't get that nade kill, they certainly already consider it. And he's going to be in trouble. I mean, he's glass cannon reminder, so that all Not going to get a lot of opportunities here. They know he's in the corner. They're baiting out the shot.
movement.
Down he goes. And now it's such a strong position for the post plant. This is tough. Swisher is going to give them the fight that they were, in fact, looking for. The time's gone now. They just have to try and fade away. And Mistin will even collect one more. So it's just Wolf, who even has the option to save his gun.
Oh, Wolf and Wolfie going at it. And Wolf takes a bigger bite out of Wolfie than Wolfie can manage out of him. So 4-0 in favor of ATK. Wolf at least saves over that A1S into this round, but man, it's not looking good for Snake's Den so far in the early goings, as ATK are really looking strong. I mean, Jonji surprisingly hasn't really had to do much. He's one of those players that will typically be the tip of the spear on your T side looking for those entries, but everyone else is doing such a good job, and Missed him, of course, is still a great entry fragger. I don't think that's going to change for ATK, and he's doing so much work.
And he is.
Oh,
Okay, Lake. What was that?
Flashed and through the smoke. Okay.
Just hitting and timing off that flashbang just rips a kill. So wow. All right. That's one way to get on the board for your first kill of the game. Missed him. Gonna be wondering about that one.
Yeah.
See if ATK can recover here.
DJF's holding the angle with the Deagle, and let's not forget the rounds that ATK did have trouble with. 2 of the 6 they lost were on anti-eco situations. For some reason, that's where Snakes then appear to be the most threatening for this ATK squad. 2 players charging down the ramp. That could get very, very scary for Swisher, and indeed it does. Seb's going to take him down.
All right. We've got a very spicy round on our hands, especially since Cyrix and Lake are going to be able to set up Crossfire here. Maybe it's not the best weaponry you'd expect for it, but this could be real weird. They've got to be wary as well about this cat push. Utility's limited now. There it is. You just got too many directions to cover at this point. They need some kills. They're going to get none. This one's clean for Snake's Den. How on earth is this the round that they convert and convert it so very cleanly as well?
Well, that's what they were doing over on Inferno. Like I mentioned, 3rd eco round that they've pulled off in that type of situation, and the cleanest one so far with all 5 players left standing. All of them get upgrades too, so free guns picked up off the ground. The economy is just amazing now for them, and that's pretty solid considering that's their first round victory. Great little jump start here for the Snake's Den squad. And ATK, well, they have to come back and find a round in return, because that is a tough one to lose.
We saw one of those on Inferno, and then they immediately routed to answer back. This time they even got a better buy than they had there, but still, bit inexcusable. I mean, some of those plays you can't counter. Getting just digged down through the smoke on a flash opponent, right? Yeah, but the rest, certainly a little bit timid here, and Lake's going to catch another one. Showing major impact from that connected position. He was a huge piece of what they did get done on Inferno. It seems like he's going to be a big factor again here. With Jonji already in the window, this is going to be interesting. Lake's coming back in for the clear. Who wins this duel? It's Jonji. Gets that kill, takes down Lake, takes down the heavy hitter early, and there's still 45 seconds. So their eyes distracted towards mid. Now the play comes out on towards B. There are 2 defenders here, and Wolf will strike for the first. Rack down for the count. His teammate stalled out. Jonji not really able to get into the action. Now the bomb dropped as well. This is a catastrophe. Again, ATK looking like the opposite of themselves over on Inferno. A little bit too timid, perhaps, to get out of the choke points.
Yeah, it's strange, too, that they decided to go towards the B site, given how much control Jonji has of mid with that frag that he gets in the jungle. No one is there for Snake's Den, so they have very little visibility on both, as mentioned, jungle and even in connectors. So it would have perhaps been a better idea to rotate around. They had the time, I believe, although it was running out a little bit, to go back. Instead, they decided to push into the B site. 2 defenders are there, and they just get completely dismantled. They can't win a single fight. All right, Snake's Den get a second, and they do indeed build off of that ridiculous eco round victory. And ATK, well, they'll have enough cash to reinvest here. Wolfie might be a little light in terms of what he can afford, but it will be AKs for everyone else. Maybe Mistum goes for the Galil to get the utility. Nope. Wants the AK. So round number 7, Snake's Den, perhaps a resurgence here. Flashbang going to get tossed both ways here. ATK tossing it to try and get that space in towards mid, and Snake's Den trying to deny it. There's the first frag for Rec.
That was just a straight push in towards apartments. So the passive hold's been working out so well for Snake's Den, but now one piece is out from it, and Rec's down by the van. He's gaining this space, he's gaining this ground, but Lake will challenge it. But now it's an interesting thing for ATK because Lake is the con player. So you know the con player's not there. You could challenge through. They don't seem to trust that potential read. Instead, it's another focus on towards the B site. And duel here, there's a fight and a double swing. Well, take down DJF. Pressure on the Lake once more, but he's good for it. It leads the first. And again, oh my goodness, Lake. This guy is going Super Saiyan to try and make this round theirs. And leave everything on to Wolfie. Lake has done enough. Now Wolfie has to try and bring this round through. Take advantage of the moment, get the bomb plant down. They're not out yet. So plant money at least secured. Wolfie, look for the cross here. It's a duel with an AWP if he slides into this. As they come off the angle, there's a chance, there's a check, and he's going to use this to reposition. As they're coming out the door, sticks around in his original spot, smoke up, gives advantage into cover. Player into the bench. Position revealed now. Wolfie needs to try and use the smoke. Does he realize they're on it? Does he realize they're on it? He does indeed. And both kills found. Wolfie will manage to bring this through.
Yeah, he realized it, but he knew he had to win that first fight with the player defending the diffuser before he could flick around and try to spam through the smoke, and he does exactly that, and just in the nick of time, finds the second, clutches the 1v2, and ATK are right back to their winning ways the 5th round, but it was an extremely costly one, because you can see in their buy-up now, it's going to be 3 Galils instead of the AKs, only that 1 AK for Janji, and Wolfie, well, at the very least, he'll have the AWP, and the utility is a lot stronger than the previous round. Next then, oh my goodness, the aggression's coming through and it works! Seb gets the first one, traded out by Mistum, but Wolf's gonna come around from Cat and take one back. 2 back in fact from Lake, finding Wolfie, 4v2. Rex burning alive in the Molotov, but before he has a chance to burn to a crisp, Cyrix takes him down with the op, and Lake finds Swisher. This round's over in 26 seconds.
That's a quick way to rally. Quick way to rally into keeping the bodies up as well, and no bomb plant allowed. The money's not there for ATK. This will be a force buy as they're double eco territory on 3 players. Wow. Snake's Den bringing a whole lot more of a fight here, and I mean, look, everyone's starting to wake up, everyone's starting to contribute, but the kick in the pants has definitely been off of Lake.
It was such a gutsy play though, Mike. I mean, all 5 players committed to peeking mid, and I guess just a nice read of what ATK likes to do here on this map, and it worked out.
Did indeed. Guess you gotta risk it. A little spicy with things. That's a nice nade. It's a nice nade. A smoke down as well is gonna send ATK fading off of this. And meanwhile, Swisher's been cleaned up top mid. Lake just outright winning that fight. That's the pistols. So without the initial explode play towards B, that's what they were hoping to do, it seems. It's ATK's next move. In towards mid they go. Smoke up for the window. No, it misses. Uh-oh. They think this is smoke. They are in for a rude surprise. And Lake dishing out haircuts here in towards mid. He's got support as well. They're up the connector, though. And Seb is ready to shut the door in their face. So nothing doing for ATK here. Snake's Den in full control. Let's see if they can keep it clean. Not quite. 1 blemish, 2 added. Wreck. Well, he can only do so much. He was the guy who made some late round situations interesting over on Inferno, but this time Snake's Den quickly recovered.
Yeah, 5 players left to take out, right? It's a lot more than the situations he had on Inferno where it was 1, 2, sometimes 3, but that is a very, very tall ask. 4th round picked up for Snakes Den. ATK, you can't be missing the mid smokes. That's an important one that you got to hit every single time. And, well, they miss it. And, I mean, with the limited hardware they had in their hands in the first place, it really wasn't viable for them to take mid at that point, and it didn't happen. So Snakes Den 1 round away from tying things up here, and ATK again onto a pistol round. DJF pushing out towards mid, gets 1, 2, trying to collect on the 3rd here, and Lake supporting as well from Connector. Mistim gets rated down to 89. Oh, he doesn't realize that Mistim's already gotten past him, so he goes down, and that's an upgrade for Mistim.
See if Mistim can find a kill off this. Shows he's dancing with death. No armor. Wolfie? A little bit wide on that chair angle. Checked by the bricks boost. Missed him alone. Any more damage would be great. A bomb plant seems a bit much to ask. I don't exactly know where he is. You can tell because Cyrix is watching for the murder hole. Thinks he could have slipped the gap. But at this point, there's someone watching window. They should have a pretty good idea which way this is headed. And indeed, they do. So it's clean again for Snakes Den.
What is that? 3 in a row now. Yeah, for Snakes Den. Nice little run they've got for themselves. ATK, though, will be back to the rifles this time. I saw a sawed-off in the mix there. Was that just a misbuy? Yeah, it was. It's just a sawed-off sitting on the ground outside of spawn. So a little bit of money wasted on the ATK side, and you see it in their economy. Yeah, their utility. Trade going back and forth here. It looks like a 4v4 and missed him. And Swisher gets a 3K out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. How well played is that? And now DJF and Wolf, the last 2 standing.
And they've got plenty of money, so they don't have to save necessarily. But it's such a tough position to get back into that now at this point, what are you going to try for DJF? There might be something to limiting the economy of the T side, but winning this round, that's not happening. And while you may be cash flow rich, Seb and Lake certainly are not. So it'll be worthwhile to keep this gun alive, to be able to drop it through. This is good time to get back into it, having it let up such a glut of rounds for ATK. You know, it's funny, I was just checking it. It's kind of a trip seeing the name Seb in a server. It's not the Seb of yore. Played for teams such as Blackout, Singularity, a lot of different rosters in his time in CS.
Different Seb.
But it is, my brain keeps wanting it to be that Seb.
Nostalgia, Mike.
Yeah, he played for a lot of different squads, man.
Hmm?
Ghost at one point, part of that Bees Money crew team. A lot of different teams.
Long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't played CS since 2020, I don't believe. I think he had a brief stint, maybe. I'm not actually sure. Whatever he's up to in life, hope he's doing well. He was a good dude, solid dude.
Snakes going for some early aggression again, and Mistim's going to get the headshot onto Lake. 5v4. Still a lot of time left on the clock here for ATK to work with, and Snakes then don't even want to challenge too much towards mid at all, so ATK can take the space and decide where they want to go, but they are still being very methodical. There's been a lot of aggression up cat, so you can't really blame them for watching here and waiting. Snakes then are in their minds at this point.
Certainly. But they've killed the guy who was doing a lot of that aggression in Lake, right? Laid him down. It's usually been either Lake or DJF, but with one of them gone, you'd imagine DJF's going to be a bit more passive. That's a flashbang right off it, and Rek is gone. No support. He just ate that flash. That's a really nice wombo combo play. So they're going to take the space in towards mid. Jonchi getting into the window. Hasn't been able to have impact on this map just yet. Actually, he's fading away off this. Con instead. Seems like this is going to end A. I need some sort of an entry into it. Also, utility to pull Wolf off the angle. He should have an advantage in this fight. That's a nice peek from Mistim. Now here comes the clear. Jonchi, though, not fully clearing the corners. Give up that pick. Still should have a path towards the plant. Got more Molotovs put down, but this gaps in that smoke that Wolf has slid right through. One on the exchange. Playing it tough here. CT, they gotta have it. Wolfie's not able to hit that in time. 10 seconds, there's just not enough time for this anymore. Wolfie fumbling with the gun as well. He's gonna get that kill at least, but he can't have the round, and DJF will do him the mercy of putting him down before the timer runs out.
Oh my goodness, that was just so very messy from ATK in the latter part of the round, right? I mean, they know that CT's not smoked off, it's not cleared out, and no one's watching it. At least you're going to plant the bomb, make sure the other player is watching for a peek from that off, but it wasn't there, and because there's no trade that comes through, it's just such a tall ask for Wolfie in that situation with the AWP to get it done. And maybe if he holds the angle and commits to it, he's able to get the frag and then the bomb plant, but he's just so unsure as to what to do that he gets caught in between decisions. And oh no, Wolfie! Oh my goodness, he puts his own teammate into the ground. Cyrix takes care of him as well, and that is just ooh.
Not the kind of miscues you can be affording to have here if you're ATK.
No.
Blake dinked up through the box, but still alive, and Seb there for support means that there's going to be no problems. They'll keep it clean in this one. We're heading to the waning moments of half. No, look, the reality is this is a fine scoreline for ATK. 6 rounds on UT side is fine. But after what we saw on Inferno, this is quite the shakeup. Snake's Den very much back in this series, doing a great job acquitting themselves up nicely here and making this competitive.
Yeah, indeed. As we expected them to. I mean, on Inferno, it could have easily been way more rounds than 6 for Snake's Den, right? They just couldn't win any of the clutch situations. ATK were taking all those rounds. So now Snake's Den starting to get to the conversions they were looking for on Inferno. They've got a lead on their hands. They will be facing off against the AKs. And well, Seb currently has the MP9. Could have upgraded to something better, especially with the economy and the fact that we're in round number 14 of this first half. But either way, he wants to settle for the MP9. We'll see how he decides to deploy it. DJF waiting here in ladder room. Wolf right around Cat. So a good setup here into mid. ATK gonna have to be careful how they choose to challenge. And well, with underpass control taken, they could decide to just go to the A site. Okay, don't mind this decision. Yeah.
Up Cat, they're going. DGF going to be a problem for them potentially in the ladder. He hears this utility, right? Is he going to peek off of it? The first, not for the second.
Patience. Good patience.
Waiting for Wolf's contact. Now he's getting activated. No one's watching for this, but they're past his angles. Past his angles. Now he's struck bot at the same moment. Cyrix finds his damage out of the apartments, and it's all on Swisher. The lone wolf. What can he possibly do? Hammered by utility here, up against the wall. Bullets raining down upon him, and there's just no safe haven. He has to back away, and that's just going to be to save the AWP. He's backing off. He's conceding this round. It's going to be 8 on the board for Snake's Den.
Mike, he's not the lone wolf. He's one of 3 wolves, right?
Well, I mean, 2 right now. His
Yeah,
wolf has been put down. He's an endangered species.
Oh, goodness. But, wow, that's just another great round from Snake's Den. I mean, I love the patience from DJF in ladder room. He waits and waits for all the footsteps to pass him. Then he comes in on the flank when ATK is not expecting it. They think they've already cleared ladder room and no one's there. But to their surprise, DJF comes around and he just puts a ton of pressure on them from the flank. And it results in things just completely falling apart because they don't know where to look. So ATK fall in another round, and Snake's Den ensure themselves at the very least a lead heading into the second half. And given the buy-up here for ATK, they've got a chance to make it a 2-round lead. Or excuse me, a 3-round lead. Losing my ability to do math here, Mike. Nice little run boost, and Swisher hits the shot on Lake.
There's the opener they're looking for. Got to get a bit creative with it, but that saved AWP. Nets him something early. Swisher keeping the big green for himself. Proven wide. The trade is there. That's not bad. Now an entry in towards the A site. Cyrix under pressure, and Cyrix deleted. All right, Rack gets himself the upgrade and immediately puts it to good use. So ATK, round they didn't have a lot to fight with, are finding the round that they needed. It's all on DJF. It's out by jungle. Smoke is faded though. More down. Make his life difficult, but he slipped out to the stairs at the very least. They're just gonna fight it. They're not gonna bother with the bomb plant. They're just gonna fight it, and it's gonna work out as well. And we're going to the half. And we are out there. Into the fun. Into the action here in this second half, and it was close as close can be. So Snake's Den give themselves a prime opportunity to make this a 3-mapper. Can they capitalize on the D side? Well, DJF can't in this pistol round. He's gone, but up mid they go, finding Wreck en route to a very vacant B bomb site. Swisher having pushed apps instead, but they're rerouting. They're rerouting. They're going up A. And I think
This is the bad one.
Janji may have sniffed this out just in the nick of time. Missed him, gets 1 kill, but now it's a shutdown all over from ATK. Janji trying a bit of a cheeky one, but that's a complete disaster for Snake's Den.
That was a weird mid-round call. I'm not sure what happens or what triggers them to say, okay, let's immediately deviate and go back to the A site, because the B site was absolutely the right decision. Had they just kept on going, yes, there would have been some pressure coming from market because a player was rotating there, but it almost certainly would have led to a bomb plant. Instead, they go to A, where there's a crossfire waiting for them from stairs and jungle, because they didn't have much information there. But, you know, maybe they thought that would be the lighter site. Unfortunately for them, it was not. And ATK have tied up the scoreline, excuse me. Looking at Snake's Den, because they don't get that bomb plant. It's just Glocks and the lone PT Wolf. They're trying for a run boost here, I think, into mid. Yeah, it's like a triple run boost. Wolfie is going to take down Cyrix. Let's get the trade. John G comes out. He goes down as well. This is getting a little scary for ATK, but Swisher calms things down with the 3K.
Call him the problem solver. That's exactly what he did. But for Snake's Den, we've seen it's a world of difference once they get the guns out, and here come the guns. Doo-doo. And we'll see if it's going to be all right for Snake's Den. But let's see. Let's see what they got. The ops out for Wolfie. This will be a nice find early on. There's only the one SMG either, so there's really no limitations for ATK here. There's no excuses into this round. Just want to get it done. Swisher really wants to get it done. Aggression into the palace, finds Seb right off the rip. That whole section of the map is going to be under their control. They'll leave Wreck there. And they'll shift around.
Love that play from ATK, right? They didn't have the best of first halves. It could have been better, and now they decide, you know what, we want to get into the face of Snake's Den. We want to make life difficult for them, just like they did for us on their CT side, and they take Palace control so decisively, and they have tons of information. I mean, look, Swisher can just camp out here and ensure no rotations come through, and the rest of his team can go to the B site, or at least 3 players can wait at the B site, leaving 1 to guard from jungle and connector. To push Snake's Den off of this hit onto A, and so far it's working. They are going to the stacked B site, and yep, that will be their final destination, it seems. Unless they decide to double back again, as they did in that pistol round.
Right now, they seem just a little undecisive in the mid round, right? I recognize they're down in numbers, but they got to do something here. 34 seconds. Time fast running out, and it seems like this is going to be a save, I guess, is DJF's plan.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, he's got a lot of util in the AK, so I can't blame him, but
It's good value. It's just going to kind of set them on a little bit of a weird timing in terms of when the money gets healthy again. Especially if they both die. So, no save available. At least they'll get the loss bonus up. And Snake's Den looking at a 2-round deficit.
That was completely innocuous round from Snake's Den. Nothing happened at all after they get that mid control, and ATK just picks off the players that they spot out. Snake's Den hang out, a couple of players waiting there, lots of indecisiveness on their side, and well, it cost them as ATK hit double digits. Second map in a row. 43 on the clock. Snake's Den relegated down to pistols only. It's going to be 4 Tech 9s in the Glock, so a quick pop out into the B site could be a good call, especially considering it's only Missed him here. Missed him has a lot of work to do. He needs the reinforcements, or he needs to get all the frags, and he's not going to get any, and Swisher actually comes for just in time. He gets 2. Missed him through the smoke drop tool. That's the bomb, and that's the round.
Well, quick as you like. Snake's Den not looking like they've got the same fangs in this half, at least early on. And it has to be sending up a little bit of the alarm bells for us right now, John, right?
Yeah.
Because it was that first half on Inferno where they really struggled to get anything going, any this sort of activation, put them in that massive 11-4 hole. So, T-sides may be a bit lacking here for the Snake's Den, but still, plenty of opportunities in this one. 5 more of them, to be exact, to get this thing going. Wolfie aggressive here in Con with that AWP. There's players right under the lip as well. This could be spicy. Lake wants to go through on the fade. Wolfie's repositioning for it, and he's ready. Good bit of maneuvering there. Past the smoke. Gets away with that one. A little bit risky on that peak, and they have found some space for Day. So ATK playing very frisky here in the smoke phase, but no one's been punished for it just yet. And in the meantime, Snakes are running out of time, but the smoke's actually up, and now they're running out of bodies. They've kept them off the bomb plant. The opportunity may just be gone. It's all into Cyrix. 3 targets to find. Wolfie will lay him low.
I mean, just Snake's Den walking into the spider's web in that situation. ATK had so much presence there. Jonji's peak, a little ambitious as his peaks can be, but he's still able to get one before he goes down, and he had so much support around him from CT and Connector as well that he didn't really have to worry too much about trying to go for something as long as he gets that one and doesn't go down for free, and that's what he did. So ATK get the 12th pretty convincingly at that, and Snakes Den are once again back to the pistols. 4 Deagles in the tech. They're spread out across the map, just trying to find an opening frag. Seb waiting at ramp, couple of players towards top mid, one. And I believe there's some damage being taken here into the mid fight, and yeah, Swisher from Cat takes down Blake.
Into the window. Perhaps a bit of something to do with that position. But it's tough to get activated. And they know he's here. Ooh, bit bold, but it's feeling bold all around now as John G comes flying off the high wire with the greatest of ease. I don't think Wolf was spotted. Oh, maybe players being brought in. They know he's here, and yes, it is just not going to matter, John.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have the bomb. Even if he gets through, what can he possibly do against 5 players and just the Tech 9 in his hands? And ATK extend their lead to 5, considering that they walked into this half down 8-7. This is an impressive kickoff of the second half. 6 rounds in a row. Snakes Den unable to do much of anything. That resilience that was shown in that first half has just completely disappeared now. Got the guns again, 4 AKs and the AWP, pretty much full util as well. I mean, Lost Bone is sitting at full, so I don't want to say it's their last chance, but they're running out of rounds. Oh, Jonji, what are you doing at top mid in that situation like that? Cyrix gets one thing, probably thinking to himself, what was that even all about? But it is a 5v4 for Snakes Den to work with in the early goings of this round.
And one they desperately need, right? One they desperately need. Gotta get something rolling here. Gotta try and do something to slow down the boulder that is ATK right now. Mid control has been established. Wolf, that's a big pick. He knows the next player's there as well. Won't be able to win the duel with Swisher. But still, keeping numbers very limited here for ATK. That's a dunker of a nade. PJF catching that one in his teeth, and look at Rack. Oh, on the aggression. If they Thunderfoot this, they're making noise. He might have heard those audio cues. Rack, is he ready for this? He is indeed. Gets the first. It's an opera on the second as well. So Rek's able to back away. Cyrix a little slow in the hunt. And Rek reposts.
He knows.
Into the off angle, but Cyrix ready for it. Still, Wolfie gets his answer, and the bomb is stuck here. Cyrix just going to have to fight it. Flashbang. Try and get this, but that was a huge opportunity for Wolfie. Could have put this round to bed with that kill. Indeed, he might still. 15 seconds. Knows that Cyrix has to force the bomb down to dirt here and now. But it'll give him the opportunity. Get caught out in the fake, and now Cyrix, 4 kills in the round, a clutch to boot. And finally, Snakes Den get on the board in the second half.
Oh, that's what they needed. Cyrix comes through, delivering one op frag after the other. It all starts at the bottom of ramp, where Rek was waiting for him. But Cyrix, of course, knowing that Rek had pushed up there, was also coming around, expecting a fight. He wins that duel and just keeps on pushing. Ends up behind the smoke. Swisher didn't expect him there either. He was just in the right position at the right time every single duel. and a 9th round picked up by Snake's Den. They will get a buy up here. The problem is their economy is pretty much drained, whereas ATK have built up so much with that 6-round win streak that they buy up comfortably here and still have a good cushion in their bank accounts. Jonji, though, is the first casualty again here, trying to push up mid, but 2 responses from ATK and 1 back from Snake's Den leaves us at a 3v3. HP-wise, Snake's Den actually have the advantage here. Let's see if ATK continue pushing, and they will. They're going down ramp.
They are. They're taking all this space, but it's trying to catch the trail of Snake's Den. If Snake's Den find any sort of acceleration on this, that trail will go cold. They're hesitating, though, for a moment. This is a huge gamble from ATK. All of mid's been open. If this turns into a connected play... Oh, there's the spot. He's seen him. Cyrix gets the kill.
Wow.
Great awareness to check that for Cyrix. But how do they read this now? They've seen the 1. Seems like they're going to come into the B play. Time's going to become a bit of an issue. Mistim is low, and they have 2 Molotovs. The Molly back bench, Mistim is a dead man.
They probably will.
Oh, they're going quiet on this, right? They're trying to contact this in, see if they can just get it for free. There's the footsteps. There's it coming out. Mistim, when does he activate? When does he make his move? He's got the first. There's the strike. Oh, can't get anything more. Knew where the players were, but realized he was in no man's land. The bomb will be planted to dirt. Swisher, I think this is going to be too tempting a prospect not to at least give it a look in.
Yeah.
Save rifle would be very helpful. That's where the op is now. Cyrix. Okay, he gets away with that. He gets the kill. Doesn't need to go for that repeat.
Yeah, no. Definitely not, but he just needed to tuck behind cover, but he's feeling it right now. Look, he's got 7 frags over the last 2 rounds. Let him peek a little bit, but I agree. The right play would have been to just wait for Swisher to go for another fight. Despite that, Snake's Den do win a 10th round, and now it's getting ever closer. ATK still had enough to buy up here, and really, interestingly, go for a double op setup. Cyrix racks up another one to his name. Wreck goes down, and there's the space gained into the A site. But yeah, double op invested into instead of ensuring that there would be a couple of rifles, or I should say 3 rifles, right? Instead of just double op.
Oh, deleted. Huge kill for DJF. That opens the site right up. Jonji, he's stuck. He knows it. One way or another, he's a dead man. Can he get anything before that? No. No, he cannot. So at this point...
the ops.
Exactly. Mission, save off. All they want out of this. It's going to be Snake's Den finding their 11th. Starting to make this look very close indeed. And Swisher is not necessarily expecting him to find a kill. I think he's mostly hoping to fire off some warning shots.
Yeah, trying to keep them at bay, but Snake's Den are going to hunt, you would think. The money's not great, but they know that if they can take the ops out of the hands of ATK here, it could be a moment where they can swing this round and this match into their favor even more so.
Gonna test Wolfie. Gonna test Wolfie. He's playing a bit of an off angle. It's committed. He's dead. Tough spot now here. Flashbang out. Swisher under pressure. Can he find any damage? Can he keep this off alive? He's gonna get the first. Ducky behind the bench. Desperately trying. And eventually the headshot finds him.
Wow. I mean, just such a bold play from Snake's Den. You know, they realize, yes, we don't have much money, but it's more valuable for us to try and take that op and bolt ops, in fact, out of their hands than it is for us to survive in this round. And man, only 1 player goes down. Great utility, realizing where ATK would be and sectioning them off with the flashbangs. And there you have it. ATK only pistols. And what was a 13-8 lead may soon evaporate completely. Only 2 rounds, and this round is going to be even tougher for ATK to try and find something with. 2 Deagles, 2 P250, and 2 USBs. That's all. Wreck does manage to get the headshot to DJF, but this B side will be very tough to hold on to. With only 1 player here, and there's Swisher down for the count.
Window goes Jonji. Bit of a madcap play. Gets himself 1, at least. A bit of economic damage. But now for Wreck, it's hide the M4. They are out of here. So gap's closing to just 1 round. There's going to be buy into the next. Will there be an off? I think so. For Wolfie, or at least maybe Rhett can drop it over. They'll still need to pick up armor. Wolfie wants to try for. Not going to find it.
Look, Cyrix is lighting it up right now. He is just on fire. 21 frags. We talked about him not really having as much of an impact as, well, we expected him to have here for Snake's Den, especially map number 1. But this second half has been his awakening on Mirage. 12 rounds picked up for Snake's Den. Now they're looking to tie it up, but ATK, well, they're back with the rifles, but it could be their perhaps last chance at coming back into this match because their economy is drained just to get this buy-up done. They don't even have the full util. Snakes then trying to strike, coiled up towards top of mid, waiting for their opportunity.
You can feel how much ATK knows this round matters because they're not getting aggressive. They're not fighting, really. They're not pushing. It's very passive by their standards. Interesting one to see. Play up into Khan. It's decent control early on for Snake's Den, but they're grouping for this B hit. They're grouping for this B play, and Mistim does not have a Molotov to slow them down, so he's jump spotting with a smoke. And they've got Wolfie far up enough, or Wolf rather, that he's going to spot this, and that's a ripper of a headshot, punishing the info play, waiting for that exact thing, and the second one goes in, and this round is over. Janji clears up the lurk, at least. There's no way they can consider going for this. Janji looks like he wants to, but they need to back away. The money is precarious, to say the least.
Janji's the only one going near this site.
Yeah, they're not touching it. And I don't think Janji's going to be able to make this play. Long gone are the moments where economic damage onto the T side mattered. That horse is out of the barn already. There's no sense closing the doors. So for ATK, they need to keep their guns alive.
Wow, that is just a ridiculous take of the B site by Snake's Den, and the shot from Wolf onto Mistim. It is not an easy one to hit, folks, and that was a ripper, as you described it, Mike. Unbelievable stuff. Mistim can't even throw his smoke to slow down the advance and wait for reinforcements to come through. By the time Swisher peeks around, he's also dead to rights. So we're tied up 13-13. ATK gets 6 in a row to kick off the half, and then Snake's Den responds with 5 in a row of their own, leading to a timeout being called here. That is ATK calling for the pause.
Time for some words of wisdom from Coach Spray. Now would be the moment to win a round. If they've got some sort of an idea, now would be the moment to nip this in the bud, keep this from just being a complete sweep away from the Snake's Den side. This is 5 rounds in a row for Snake's Den, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, exactly.
So they have all the momentum in their favor at this point. See if ATK can change that. Let's see the op get activated early on. Wolfie smoked off in towards the window though, so he's not going to be able to do anything of the sort. Wolf on the other side has gained a lot of space, wants this duel with Mistim, wants this fight, and he's going to get it. He just goes through. Mistim never expected him to push that aggressively through all the util, but look at the space top mid. Look at this push from Swisher. He's gained all of this ground. And they have no idea that he's here.
Swisher could turn this around all by his lonesome.
Lake's actually watching it, but no, now he's still. So there goes the kill, Lake! How? How? How does he expect that? He was setting up a smoke. He thinks better of it. Looks back, and boom, there's Swisher.
Maybe they heard something top mid.
No, I don't think there was a single audio cue. I think he was just checking it. It's just a good sense of timing. Speaking of timing here. Janji playing some trigger disciplined game. They're setting up nades. Knows he's got one. He's Gonna let him slip past. And that's gonna be one. The bomb not quite found. So Jonji tried to go for it all. Still, Rex able to capitalize on the info. Question is, can the op do the same? Damage done. No kill, though. Wolfie under pressure. 30 seconds is not a lot of time. Now his teammates on the angle with him. Smokes, though. The curtain under which to plant. If they had a nade, there's no world. No. That's a big kill for Rex. First one found in this 1v3. Needs 2 more. Spots the first. I think he knows where both are. Has a good idea of it at least, but the swing from Wolf is just too much to overcome. What a round again. This man single-handedly opening up the B site and being such a nightmare for ATK to contend with.
Yeah, Wolf has been really strong in a lot of his opening duels, but we can't forget Lake's awareness checking into T-spawn when Swisher was trying to come in on that flank, which could have been devastating. Could have ended the round for Snake's Den. Instead, it ends up resulting in no frags going the Snake's Den way, and then, of course, Wolf doing the work towards that B site. I mean, he found Mistim earlier on in that round, and then at the end gets 2 more for himself. So Snake's Den, from being down by a lot, are now threatening to take this and send us to map number 3. Swisher gets the opener onto DJF. They've reinforced Cat a little bit and left Mistim away from that peak, right? He's been punished twice, so he probably figures there's no reason for me to try for that. They're just waiting for me to poke out my head. Cyrix pushing up Wolfie and Lake. Potential duel coming in here as the smoke is going to fade. Wolfie's just watching it. Lake has to be so very careful and wary of his positioning, and he's not going to clear the right angle. Wolfie gets the frag. Now a 5v3 in favor of ATK for the first time in a while.
And not willing to just go out of this one. They're ready to fight a bit, but it's been this man here in the apartments who's been such a nightmare for them. It's been a Wolf who at every step of the way has harassed and harangued him. I missed him once again. As duel set up with his counterpart just on the other side of this pillar. But meanwhile, Rat got aggressive down ramp and catches Seb getting out of mid. Wolf somehow wins that fight again. Missed him, just cannot get the better of him. This is going to be the bomb down. There's already a player at catwalk, but they're repositioning. Having shown presence, this is still viable for Snake's Den. The op posted. Jonji on that glass cannon as well. It's far from ideal here. The retake, Cyrix posting up, misses the first shot. His attention now drawn. The apartments player going to get him. Wolfie's done exactly that. It's all about Wolf. Here back at the bench, this would be the most incredible round yet, and this one he cannot do. Time aplenty for the defuse. ATK, they're not done just yet.
Wow. I mean, look, the fact that Snake's Den even pull off a bomb plant in that situation is ridiculous. And it's thanks to Wolf, again, like you mentioned, winning the duel with Mistim for a 3rd consecutive round. He just drops down out a window and plunks him right in the head. And, well, that leads to at least a little bit of extra cash in the pockets of the Snake's Den squad, so they'll be able to get 4 AKs and an op a little more comfortably. But we are tied up again at 14-14, and we are going to go the distance, as Snake's Den likes to do in many of their matchups. The question is, will this be a win for them, or will ATK close out the series at 2-0?
So much rides on this mid play. This time you can tell the danger that Wolf has been inflicting upon them, right? 2 players are just watching the apartments to see if the player is going to come out, to see if Wolf's going to try and lurk this. But instead it's the underblast play. It's so risky. Lake behind it. He's going to get caught. The op out. Wolfie didn't realize he'd cross. Those flashbangs too effective. That is a big blunder. The op now down on catwalk early on. Swisher rather going to be forced out by this Molotov, but they don't expect it. They're not ready. Oh, what a reaction from Cyrix. How does he hit that? He wasn't looking. The flick around is milliseconds. So now Jonji here at Tetris. His duel with Seb could be the next critical one. He slips back into sandwich, so he stalls it out for a moment at least.
Snake's Den doesn't know where they want to go. I mean, you see the bomb back and forth, like a pendulum.
Jonji, I mean, the problem is this Molotov It's going to make his life so difficult, so he has to face into his own flashbang. He's dead now. The bomb's going to rotate, but there's 20 seconds. There's 20 seconds, and now they've spotted Wolf here in the apartments. Cyrix might actually just be going solo on the site. This is weird. They've got to wonder why the bomb's not planted. Cyrix is going to solo plant this on B. There's no world where they read this. When do they even realize that it's not on this site? Well, they've got the kills now. They're clearing on. Mistim's not hearing the beeps. They've been bamboozled entirely. They don't know yet. Now they know. Now it's a full sprint. It's a madcap sprint. Cyrix may have just won this purely on the bamboozle, but he's got no health, John, so they're still going to have a chance at this.
Oh, there's so little time.
It could be one bullet to win it, but they've just got to sprint in. They can't be patient. They can't be diligent. They've spotted the one. Cyrix, they know he's in the market now. He doesn't have the angle. He's going to have to come up. The smoke's out there already. Mistim's just going to stick it. He knows he has to on the time. He's got the kill, but he's not got the round.
Oh.
No. No chance. It's going to be 15 on for Snake's Den. A sneaky hoodwinker of a play. And Snake's Den find 15.
I mean, the thing is, yes, it was a sneaky play, but Snake's Den had the advantage. They'd already taken the A site, and Cyrix just didn't have enough time to rotate back, so he says, I have to send it to B, and he listens for the footsteps, I believe. Here's the rotations coming through, and then goes on and gets that bomb planted, of course, and ATK had already rotated back to take the fights on A. They win both of them, and they still don't have any idea that the bomb is implanted. They're finally realizing, but with so little time left, Cyrix has the advantage, even though he's in a 1v2 situation. Oh my goodness, the shots are hit. He has been so very impressive here for Snake's Den. They've got a chance to close this one out. ATK are trying to push it to OT though. Opening frags found in their favor. Another 5v3 to see if they can push this one to round 31.
Down for the count. Back by triple. Molotov in to threaten Rek. He's going to put the smoke down, and he just swings. He just swings. They're not expecting that at all. Rek finding all the damage, but not enough. Not enough, and in the same breath,
they're going
B.
No!
Oh, it's all on the Seb. It's all on the Seb. Madness. But the bomb fortunately falls onto his person, so he could leave. He'll split the defense. They have to, and he's just coming right back. Just coming right back to see if they've given him a gap. Isolated player, at least. Gonna hit this headshot on the info hop. No. But the Molotov, that can't be challenged. Mistim goes ahead of it. This is so risky now. Seb is low as well, though, so he's a bit timid, trying to set up a flashbang to give him any sort of an advantage into this. And 30 seconds, he's now committed. He knows it. And so do they. Swisher coming back into support. Trying to wait for that critical kill, and he's got it as well. John, we're going for more. We're going to overtime. into the action here in overtime. Overtime. Never would have thought this after you watched Inferno, but Snake's Den, they got a whole lot of fight. And it was actually ATK that had to try and bring it back after that crazy Cyrix clutch. Could have been. Well, Wolfie's trying to make it be in regulation here, as he's got the opening pick, and Lake, well, he's been drained.
I mean, Cyrix was the reason why Snake's Den are here in overtime, or even that they had the chance of closing out in regulation. 23 frags to his name. Looking a lot more like the top fragger for this squad here on Mirage. And Wolf, well, he's trying to strike in this round, even though they've already got a disadvantage on their hands. Cyrix connects, but it's a leg shot onto Jonji. So still that man advantage retained for the ATK squad. Wolf peeking around. He's had the advantage against Mistim so many times here on this B site, and he's waiting for Mistim to peek out, which Mistim has been prone to do.
Is there a flashbang to set this up? There's got to be something. Jonji's got one. Molotov forces missed him off. I think they heard him in this spot. Still, they're coming in towards the loaded site. Look at the flank as well. There's not going to be a bailout. Swisher is going to hem them in. It's a nice kill on the Wolfie from Seb. At least makes this a possibility. And actually, that's pulled Swisher back out of the apartments. Seb on the A site that confused them for a moment. It slowed down this flank. But they should know that Mistim's likely still to be here. Is the usual site anchor. Now they make their move out, and that's a ripper of a shot from Wolf. Actually insane, the flicks that he is hitting right now. What's Rec and Swisher got for us? Market naps. These are the play. These are the moves. Swisher finds the op. That's a critical one. Taking down Cyrix early on. Expect the player in the market door. Oh, they know now. But Wolf's just going to try and play this with the time. There's a kit here for Swisher. Wolf is out. He has to jack, and down he goes. Time enough for the defuse. This time around, ATK triumphant.
Oh, wow. That's a really good play by Swisher, right? Throw the Molotov, put the pressure on, and then fake the defusal. So Wolf has to check it out. He needs to have a peek around, and there's only so much space he has to get that angle. And then, well, Swisher knows that, and he takes the fight and wins it easily. Well done. 16-15, but man, oh man, Wolf has been ridiculous. Mistim is going to see him in his nightmares because the shots he is hitting on him are just dirty. 16-15 for ATK, though. Snake's Den, they're far from out of this. They're still competing the same way they did in regulation, just very difficult for ATK to pin down. Challenger on that A site. Here's Mistim again. I mean, this fight has proved to be very important for the ATK squad, so Mistim needs to be careful on his peaks, and Snake's Den are going to throw a smoke, just trying to give their or make it seem like they have a lot of presence here, but not quite. Spam from Swisher doesn't connect on anything. And Snake's Den, well, they've taken mid control now. They've got the player underpass. They got one pinching in around him.
Rec looks like
ATK's got a couple of players here. Yeah, exactly.
Looks like this is going to be the duel on the smoke fade. DJF and Lake on the other side of this. Flinches first, 2 blinks. They've also got Swisher here. Everybody's setting up for this fight. Lake wins that duel. The trade is there, though, and it favors ATK. So it almost looked like things were going to be disastrous, but instead, now it's a clean sweep. Missed him again with a duel on site. This time, he's the Wolf Slayer. This time, he's got himself a pelt to put up on the wall, and Cyrix backing away 30 seconds, just trying to reroute towards A to find anything out of this. And he's slowing down. I almost think he's going to save. Shouldn't really make a difference whether he does or doesn't. But at this point, he's played himself out of time to do it. The only thing that could cause problems is if he dies after time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, where he is. 2 seconds. They just need to wait. Ooh, they kill him the second before time expires. So he will, in fact, get the cash. And there should be no problems here for Snake's Den's buy.
Yeah, I mean, they could have bought up regardless. And Op's going to get dropped for him, so they're okay. But my goodness, if I'm ATK, I wait. They have so much positioning on Cyrix. They just wait for the time to run out. 2 seconds left. Instead, they get the frag, as you mentioned, with only 1 second to spare for Cyrix's loss bonus. So could have been a little more punishing, maybe, because if that happens, then Cyrix can't drop for his teammates. But I think they still have enough money. Okay, Cyrix opens up this one with a bang. John G goes down. He also gets a lot of damage returned towards him, but no trade for ATK as Snake's Den are trying to avoid being swept here in the first half of the first OT.
Aggression here, that's checked. They're not expecting another player, though, so Mistin will be able to get back one. He's going to stick into it, but this time, well, he's played his luck a bit too far, and this one's looking decisive for Snake's Den. Wreck, what do you got for us? It's going to need to be Titanic, and he's got nothing indeed. He's swept away. We head to the second half. The roles switch. They reverse. And Snake's Den find themselves at least a little something to build on.
Yeah, and Snake's Den were very effective on their CT side, so they're going back to comfortable territory. Janji is just having a little bit of fun here while we wait to get going. But, yeah, my God, I mean, Snake's Den pretty decisive there in that last round. It starts with Cyrix, who was just in a really rough spot right before that, just trying to save it off. But, of course, he wanted to go for a fight, just didn't have the time to do it anyway. And makes it count in the next round, finding the opening frag and making his team, powering his team forward to a 16th round.
So it feels like we're still in kind of neutral territory here. To see the lean in, but that could quick change. What do ATK have for us on this T side? Perhaps most importantly, where's Cyrix early on? In towards mid, rotating off already. ATK looking for that mid fight, and Janji catching a couple nades, a third as well. A little worse for the wear. Off the jump, so utility effective here.
Oh, look at Seb. Look at Seb. He's going to go for this fight
Flash.
towards ramp. He doesn't... Yeah, he has a flash supporting him from Cyrix, and now Wolfie goes down for the count. That's such a good setup from Snake's Den, and they get the information.
We've seen them employ this a couple of times to great effect. And Rhett caught there more often than not. Here the clear in towards Con Lake still gets one, despite the fact that they read his position. So it's looking very good, but Janji's trying to change that. Low HP, but he's just powered up. DJF caught trying to get down the ladder quietly. And while Janji has been claimed, these players are isolated towards either site. Seb's position is known. He's rotating off of it, though. He's trying to get ahead of them. He's trying to stay one step in advance, and in doing so, he's given up ground. Once Mistim's out, this could spell trouble. They've got the read. Seb is fortunately able to get away. But they haven't seen that second player yet, so they're a little paranoid. Still, the bomb plant should be secured here. Wolf has opted not to go through the murder hole. It's a big risk if he would.
Oh.
Now it's all going to be about Wolf. Position still unknown. The element of surprise, perhaps his biggest friend here. Flashbang dodged. They don't have to fight him. They don't have to peek until he taps his bomb. Smoke's going to try and force it. That also compromises his position. They were close enough, I think, to hear the tap. They're still going to find the frag. Map point found for ATK. 2 chances to close this out and end this series 2-0.
I like the idea from Wolf, though, right? Toss the smoke onto the bomb. He knows he sets himself up for a little bit of a one-way if he jumps on top of the box, which is what he does, but he cannot hit the shots on Swisher, even though he had plenty of time to do so. Once that little bit of a whiff comes through, Swisher realizes what's going on, and he gets his 33rd frag. I mean, he has just been so insane for ATK. We've talked a lot about Cyrix in that second half, but Swisher's have been great from beginning to end here. Well, almost end for ATK. We'll see if they close it out now as they're trying for a quick push. Jonji goes out. First frag found, and it's not for ATK. Seb taking down Swisher, and Jonji got tagged by Cyrex's op. This is getting very dangerous, but at least they've gained the space. They need to find a frag, though, before they run out of bodies. Lake taking down Jonji, 5v3. But look, I mean, they could get a bomb plant, maybe. They just have no information. Wolf's going to get missed him. Lake drops Rex all down to Wolfie, who manages to connect for one, but this is just dire.
Looking disastrous indeed. This round, a non-starter. Cyrex will make doubly sure that it is so. So Snakes Den with the response, and ATK now one more crack at this for Snakes Den. Double OT on deck. They can just win here. All the weapons available. No excuses for either side. Do or die. What do you got for us?
Immediate smoke tossed by ATK here for Cat, and they are going to send all 5 players into the apartments. Are they even going to slow down at all? Well, they got one head of the Molotov. That's Swisher, so he might as well go out and try to catch him off guard. He does, and he goes down to Wolf immediately. Wreck is going to go down as well. Oh no, it's just falling apart. They tried for the quick rush into the B side, and Wolf delivers 3. Finally, he's sat down, but it might be too late, Mike.
ATK trying to go for the knockout blow, trying to keep it simple. But it's anything but right now. Pressure on DJ. Yeah, burning. Sticking in the Molotov. That's ambitious. And somehow Wolfie gets away. Jonji's gone around the world. Wolfie was trying to stick around, I think, to sell that as much as possible to buy Jonji a chance to get around for this bomb plant. The health is just not there, though. I don't know if a bomb plant's even realistic. A protracted battle certainly isn't. But Jonji might be a little further ahead. I think he was just spotted. Cyrex has seen it. Cyrex is ready. Cyrex is dead. Ooh. And these call me crazy. There's time enough to go back to B. Oh, Jonji better hope those bullets don't land. They do. But the bomb went down in the meantime. Wolfie, what do you got for us? First one found. Can't stay behind the boxes.
Oh, no.
Spam would be enough if they checked him, so he has to reposition, and in doing so, he gets caught. What a madcap round, but we're going for more, John. It's not done yet.
No. Apparently not. Snakes Den refusing to say die as they continue on forward. I thought ATK had a good crack at pulling off that clutch. Jonji gets the bomb plant. He goes down in the process and makes it very tough for Wolfie, who does hit the first shot, but not good for another. And Snakes Den, still an opportunity to get back into this one and remedy their errors of regulation to push us to map number 3. Here we go. Double OT kicking off. Snakes Den staying on the CT side. They fended off a couple of map and series points from ATK.
Any damage onto Jonji early here. No kill just yet. Jonji's actually going to get the better of DJF, catching him in the window. Look at this push, though. Look at Seb all the way through ramp. This is huge. The spot out the player going Palace. So do they read that there's a possibility of this flank? Not reacting to it just yet. Seb has a huge opportunity. Strange Molotovs. He may have missed his window of opportunity indeed, as they are flowing in towards the site. Lake gets caught. The bomb is going to be down, and that flank, it doesn't matter. One jot, one iota. Now it's Snakes Den in a 3-on-5 retake. They don't seem to like their odds.
No real reason not to go for this on the Snakes Den side, but they are going to opt for the save. 19th round picked up by ATK. Seb gets a frag on Swisher. So there you go. The rare OT save comes through from Snake's Den as ATK win the round that they couldn't in the previous overtime, as is usually the case.
Always the classic.
Yep.
Always the classic. When you can't put a game away, you suddenly find the round you need right afterwards. But one round already claimed on their T side. And further here would be just peachy. Double smoke window right off the rip. That's again one of these situations where you just wonder where the comms are at in terms of coordination, but it doesn't matter if you get the kills, and Wolfie has certainly done that. With the pop-up against DJF, this could be huge. Wreck doesn't opt to go for the fight. Staying crouched, not leaving his headshot exposed. Instead, they're pressuring A. That made not as chunky as you would have thought.
Yeah.
Having sold this now, they're rotating off. ATK shifting things around. Keeping their options majorly open with all of this control in towards mid.
I think they were just checking their flank, right? And Wolfie's coming around, making sure that he was safe with the AWP to come back and join them.
Smoke and con, but this is actually to allow Cyrix to potentially rotate off, and now the hit comes through. Seb, that's a big kill to find. The first one in. Finds pressure, but there's the trade. Seb out of play. They're looking for more. DJF, a little bit of action. Mid-presence gone. Numbers evened up. It's all about Cyrix here. They don't have to step into his sight line. With the bomb down now, this a little bit more difficult, but I love the momentum from Wolf. Wolfie wary of a long flank coming through. Wolf takes the initiative here, and he's got it again. And now trying to get out. Swisher knew he was stuck, and it just collapses. It falls apart there for ATK. Snake's Den, they're on the board.
No one was watching CT. No one.
They did not expect that aggressive of a play. Expected them to respect the smoke, and they certainly did not.
I mean, you gotta watch it. Smokes are not walls. And I mean, they just walked right through and immediately took care of Swisher, who was out in the open. And that's going to make it 19-19. It looked great for ATK, but then Snake's Den, like a snake, slither out to all three players attached by the hip, it seemed. And they get the job done. So, who will take the edge into the second half of the second OT? Oh, look at ATK. They've got a player pushed up aggressively in Swisher. He gets naded down to 48. What a toss there. There's a flash and a Molotov sail out onto the B site. ATK just looking for that opener. They want to get that space before they commit to either direction. And you see it in the way they're spread out here. One in connector, one at top mid. You have the bomb going to underpass now. And I mean, a couple of players still looking for a potential opening at B. Lake gets the first, though. That's Jonji down. Oh no, it's falling apart for ATK. DJF finds himself wreck, and look, I mean, Swisher's already down to half health from that nade. They've got to go B.
Gotta be missing. He's got the first. Can he get the next? No. Wolf again proves to be his kryptonite. And while Wolf may be a goner, they now need to go and recover that C4, and it's not even gonna matter. Lakes just swept them away. A one-round lead here for Snake's Den as we switch sides once more.
Boy. Snake's Den taking the lead into the second half of the double OT, and goodness me, it just feels like ATK have their opportunities. They've definitely had them, but they just can't close it out against Snake's Den the way they were on Inferno so consistently.
Oh, I just want to get right back into the action. This is so back and forth. It's like a yo-yo. Just a way in, one way in. Wild game, John. You told me it would be close. I didn't believe you.
I did. You did not at all.
Did not believe you in the slightest. Not after what I'd witnessed on Inferno. This was ATK's map pick, right?
Yes.
But we've seen a lot of moments. I do want to remind everybody this is a team that has just come into existence. So they've not had a lot of prep time, and we've seen the errors there. A lot of one of the most obvious indications is when they double or triple utility the same spot. We've seen multiple mollies into the same spot, not intentionally to, you know, burn someone out quicker. We've seen double smokes in towards window. We've seen these little bits and pieces where not everything's smoothed out. Not all the chemistry is there. Not everyone knows exactly what's happening at all times. So it has afforded them some major mistakes. Ooh, up the underpass with the op goes Swisher. Call this the skadoodle play.
I like it.
I don't know about it. Let's see. If he gets flashed, he's in a lot of trouble. They waited him. They waited him to see if the aggressor would come through, but Wolf's going to challenge it, and he gets jiggled. Now the smoke goes down. Question becomes, can he get out of this? There's no one top mid, so he can. It's actually completely fine. He's away. And he's actually going to be on the right site. Unless he holds on to this position top mid. It's an ATK. Straightforward. They're setting up for it. Everybody's grouped. There's one player coming top mid. That's Wolf. So a little bit of action here to hold the players. But straight into A they go. And so only Wolfie can do anything about this. Unless through the smoke, John G goes. The top left found. Now Wolfie gets activated, and they're just disintegrated. Most of these kills coming through smoke.
John G's got the lineup, and he's literally just spamming. That's it. And he gets 2 with the A1S. That's the power of the silenced M4, right? Just the ability to spam through smokes, not get the tracer spotted out. And John G knows it too. He's nodding up and down saying, yeah, that felt good. That was great. ATK very clean to find their 20th. Everyone in the perfect position, even though the utility was there for Snakesden, they just could not find the frags at all. And now ATK tying things up once more. A ton of util being tossed towards T ramp, and Snakesden having to reset themselves. Oh, Wolfie, a fantastic opener up against his counterpart in Wolf. I shouldn't say counterpart in terms of opping, just in name.
Just in name. Different roles.
Yeah.
But the Twin Wolves howling the moon. Howl together. And Lake will be howling silently in this one. That nade. Chunky. Oh my goodness, it's chunky.
John G.
Seb's been laid low as well.
Gee, don't push with a P2K now.
It almost worked. I don't know. I thought Cyrix was a little more blind there, but it's all on to DJF now. The bomb's down as well, so even if he finds his kill swinging onto Swish, you can imagine missed him. Likely be well positioned to punish. He's worked his way into window. If he comes back into this, they don't want to flinch first. Missed him. Not seeing him. He slipped underpass, and this could be the one path to a round win for DJF. He has slipped the net. Completely avoided them.
I mean, this is it's a plant. B site's
Almost
clear.
certainly. Now the plant may not matter in the long run. It gives DJF a prime chance to actually win this round here.
Them could come back around. But
Too late.
Gonna go down.
Too late on it. Missed him's here. He knows where it is. Stick onto the angle. With DJF's escape options. But he wants to wait for Wolfie to get here to help him out. Is that a pixel gap? There was. He wasn't sticking around to spot it. And there's the kill. DJF wanted to take the initiative. And he played right into their hands.
A fantastic effort from DJF. But he falls just short. And now ATK, they got a 21st and another map and series point available to them. Snakesden have fended them off before. They're going to have to do it for a third time. Cyrix, everyone, they got exactly what they want. It's OT. The money's there. The question is, can they crack through onto a bomb site and shut down this ATK defense that has really done such a good job of keeping Snakesden at bay? And there's a double smoke. Speaking of, Mike, that's Snakesden throwing 2 for window unnecessarily. So the ATK had those troubles, but I mean, Snakesden's still a young ECL team. Also, making their mistakes. Seb gets the opener. Swisher gets the trade right on back, though. That's an important trade for ATK to find, but still, I'd say that Snake's Den feeling good, but not as good now with Janji going and getting another frag through the smoke. Lake his victim this time. There's the man advantage. Only 3 frags left now for ATK. Potentially
The utility starting to telegraph this play. The rotations are on. The bodies are here. Mistim catches Wolf, and that might be the surest sign that this one is done here, John.
Yeah.
Janji making the aggression come through. Cyrix will punish the pogo stick play. Little ambitious, but Mistim is there for the cleanup. And, well, it's taken them a long time. It's taken them all the possible rounds and then some, but ATK have closed here on Mirage. Definitely not playing mistake-free Counter-Strike at this point in the lifespan of the roster, but still just a cut above what Snake's Den were able to bring here, John.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Snake's Den have made a lot of mistakes themselves. There's no question. On Inferno, I think both teams were just making mistakes equally. It's just that ATK were able to recover a little bit better. Here on Mirage, just back and forth madness, even into the overtime. Finally, ATK get control. But at the end of the day, I think Snake's Den are a team that's on the cusp of something really special. The thing is, will we get to see them in the next season? Because at this point, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're 0-4. It's out of the question in the group that they're in. The question, I mean, then it becomes, will they be able to stay in ECL? Can they get 2-3 wins, ensure that they get into relegation, or will they be auto-relegated, which to me would be sad because honestly, they're promising as a team.
It does feel that way. It does feel like there's a distinct possibility for them to be a little bit spicier, for them to be, I mean, when they're challenging, when they're taking these maps close, right?
Yeah.
They've got some of that star power, that potential on a few players where you really would like to see them continue to develop. But you're right. It's about survival from here on out. That's just the reality for Snake's Den. Meanwhile, for ATK, a little hairy on that second map, but they take another step. They have to win out this season if they want playoffs, and they expect playoffs. So one more step on that journey and one more step towards us saying good night, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back next week for more ESL Challenger action. For now, goodbye, everybody. See you later.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.